Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Sunday Night Geekery. And I just came back from seeing Star Trek: The Motion Picture, so I guess I'll leave the Spock avatar up. And I'd like to welcome it's Courtney. Hey Courtney, how
Hello,
you doing?
everyone. I'm doing
Yep.
well.
So
How are you doing?
yeah, good. Yeah, I went to see Star Trek: The Motion Picture today at Fathom Event. So geeking out with the other three people in the movie theater at 3
Three
p.m.
other
on a
people. That's
Sunday
amazing.
today. Yeah. So I was like, I was worried about not getting tickets, and that was not an issue. So the audience has become much more selective for
Did
Star. Well, I shouldn't say that.
do you know did Clobby get a chance to go see it today too? Will we
He said
find
he
out
was going
later?
today at 3 o'clock. Yeah, so he might be joining us later. And
Oh,
yeah, let's say hi to where people are rolling in. So we got Polly's minion here and the pupper. So hello,
yeah.
hello. And we've got Mr. Angel here. So hail, Mr. Angel. Good to
Hi.
see you again. Yep. I guess it's what time is it? It's pretty well early over there across the pond. Yep. Hey, and J Man is here. Hey,
Hi,
J
Taylor.
Man. How's
Yo
it
yo.
going? Yo
Sounds
yo.
Billy.
Right. And we got the Stream Element spot. So hail to the
Oh,
Stream
hi,
Element
Bot.
spot. Hey, bud. Yeah.
I have a question. Um, is Pupper just because it's a dog, or is that the name of the dog? Because
No, that's no, that's the we just say and pupper, but it's
my mom
actually
actually had a beagle named Pupper.
okay.
I was like, someone else named their dog that weird name.
Yeah. I think see me if I'm saying the name correctly. So here's AM's website here, or YouTube, I should say, YouTube channel. So you can go watch the pupper. I think it's See Me, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Is the name of the truck dog that accompanies her everywhere and
Oh,
keeps her
nice.
company and safe. Yep, very very
When I
cute
turn my
doggy.
camera on, I have my doggy right next to me too. He's keeping me company tonight.
And so yeah, usually these streams we say they're truck dog approved. So there's See Me. Yep, there's the truck dog.
OMG. Yes, I said OMG. You sound like my little sister.
Yeah,
That's
right.
so cute.
Very
He or
cute.
she,
Yep.
so cute. Little Chihuahua. Is it a no? It's like
I don't think no,
is it
no,
a
I don't
Jack
think
Russell Terrier mix or something?
See Me. Yep. I'm well.
Yeah.
Polly's minions here. She'll let us know. Yep. So yep, See Me. Yep. So I was my crummy memory was correct. I think I'm saying See Me's name right. Yep. And I'm not sure whatever breed that is. It's a very cute breed.
Yes.
Super cute.
I mean, it doesn't have the
So
coloring of a Jack Russell. It looks like Chihuahua mixed with something, maybe, or is it full Chihuahua? I don't know.
yep.
It's cute regardless. Or it actually, in an odd way, I know it's not. It looks like a lab puppy with an elongated nose.
Chewine. I don't know what that is, but dog people would know. Yep.
Oh, look it
Very
up.
cute. Super cute. Well,
Adorable.
by the power of, as Raquel says, do not use the Google. By the power of the search by DuckDuckGo,
I
a
use
mixed breed.
DuckDuckGo.
It's like, oh, there you go. So it's a cross between a Chihuahua and a Dachshund dog breed.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, so
There
a
you go.
wiener dog.
Yeah.
That's what I call them. My dad and my stepmom have a teacup like Dachshunds. They're basically just the tinier version.
Tiny
And
version. Okay. Yep.
Tessa just had babies yesterday.
Oh, cute.
Two. They're like the tiniest things in the world.
Yeah.
Babies. It's like unbelievable. They're really cute though.
So then the description here is they say compact, energetic, and loyal. These pups inherited some of the best traits from both of their parents. That's what we all want to inherit, right? Only our parents' best traits. And they go by several names, including Choxy, Weenie Wawa, the German Taco, and the Mexican Hot Dog.
Oh my gosh. The German taco Mexican hot dog. I love it.
Very
Love
cute.
it.
Very cute. That always brings up the ratings, right? When you talk about cute little doggies there. Yeah. Very cute mix. Yep. So yeah, so I did Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I'm guessing you didn't go to check that out in theaters
No,
near
I'm
you.
not allowed until I start
Yeah,
I kept saying when I come back from Colorado I'm gonna start, but it looks like I'm gonna be starting here sooner than later. I just have a big meeting, regarding what on Tuesday. So
yep,
after that,
yep. Then you have
There's
some
nothing.
time to watch
Yeah, I
them
want to be able to like
TOS.
sit down and just start it. Like I'm not gonna watch like binge watch it like
Yeah,
that, but
no, 79 episodes in a row.
yeah,
Courtney
but
has
I don't
not
want
left the
to.
room in 2 weeks. She's trying to finish all the
You know,
episodes of Star Trek.
when like 10 years ago, I probably would have been like that, but my attention span these days is not the same,
Yeah, yeah, I can't
unfortunately.
imagine. Yeah, watching that much TV at once. Yeah, when we're cooped up with these the last few years though, everyone was watching a lot of streaming stuff and binge watching, and I think you lose something too by watching it all back to back to back like that. Like,
Yeah, you do. It's like you get really excited about something and then it's over. I don't know. I like to kind of stretch things out a little bit. So
yeah, and then you kind of miss things in the show, I think too, because it doesn't like I don't know, the
you can't
digest is
absorb
the
it.
wrong word. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like boom, boom, boom. So like I was watching Yellowstone with my wife, and we watched like one day we watched like four. It was raining on a Saturday, so I think we watched like 4 episodes, and we're like, that's like half the that's like too much. It's like let's stretch it out a little bit or watch something else, or because then it gets to be too much, and then like you said, and also you don't talk about it too as much too. I think like remember when back in the day when like you had a big TV show, everyone would talk about it at work, or that was
Oh,
the
I miss
conversation.
those. I kind of miss like before streaming. I don't know. People probably be like
Yeah,
think I'm weird, but I do. When you actually had to like either like record it, you know what I mean, on a tape,
yep,
like
on an old tape. Yep.
on your VCR. Um, but there was something about that because everyone watched it at the same time, like no matter what. So
Yeah, and then you all talked about it, and
if it was a or weekend show or a Sunday night show, you'd like show up at school the next day and be like, "Oh my god!" I just
yeah,
remember
what happened?
90210 was like the big one. We would always talk about Beverly Hills 90210.
that was like the big deal, right? Yeah,
That was
not for
like my middle
my
school
group, but yeah,
going into high
not for
school.
my friends. Yeah, we were younger. It was the A Team or Magnum PI
I
or
watched all those too. Yeah, I actually
yeah,
loved the A Team. I never
yeah,
really watched Magnum PI until I was older. Like I
yeah.
watched old, I watched past episodes.
Well,
But
Happy
I always
Days
like
was the
Mr.
big.
T. Oh, and Happy Days is awesome. The
Well,
Fonz.
yeah, if you're depending how old you are, you're giving away our age, but
They always showed reruns of that. It's kind of like the Brady Bunch. Like I grew up loving the Brady Bunch. Well, that wasn't, you know, my era. I was
yep,
born in the late 70s, so
yeah. Oh, J Man's got to go. Early day tomorrow, so there can only be two. Good night,
bye,
J Man.
J-Man.
That's a Highlander 2 reference, which does not exist, just in case you're wondering. Yep.
Mash.
Oh,
Sorry.
MASH. Yeah, MASH was a big show. Everyone
I
talked
love
about.
Alan
Yeah,
Alda.
yeah, that show was great. Yeah,
Remember, I was
and
telling you about that movie that has Alan Alda playing a very different type of character. If anyone here has seen Flirting with Disaster, it's comedy. At the end of it's towards the end of the movie, but he's an important part of the movie. But it's hilarious. I'm not going to give it away.
yeah, Flirting with Disaster. Alan Alda's a real talented guy. Yeah, no, remember, God, the last episode of MASH. I was a scout growing up, and that was on a Monday night. Was our meeting. So for the Monday night meeting, the scoutmaster, someone brought like a portable black and white TV, which is basically all you had. Then he plopped it down in the room, and we watched the the final episode of Mash with everyone. So I think it was an hour and a half, or was much longer. It was like a little mini movie to
I
close it out.
I remember those little TVs. Are you talking about the tiny, tiny, tiny ones, or
Well,
like
we did have some little time, but this is maybe like a 13-inch black and white
okay?
TV. So
I
it
just
was
remember having like a
portable,
little one that I was like, I don't
a
know, I was
four
like the
incher,
coolest
like
kid at camp because I brought.
yeah,
Well, you weren't supposed to have it, but
yeah,
I
with like
managed.
the 4 inch. Yeah, well, we had one in our kitchen. It was like a little Sony battery. You could actually battery power
Yeah,
it.
it
It
looked
had
like the
like a
size of like a Game Boy almost. It was like,
yeah, and it had like this little teeny 4 inch
yep,
screen. It was just like
that's
crazy
what
how
I'm
small.
talking about.
And that was and it had like a dial, like like a radio dial. Then it had
Uh-huh.
like click click click. You'd like spun this dial to change the channel. It was really weird. It was but of course that was kind of normal then. Let's see if I can find a picture of it. I don't want to show the family pictures,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was like a fixture in our kitchen for Then I came up with Sony 40-inch TV. I'm like, no, Sony 4-inch black and white TV.
Back
It's
in the
like no
days when
40.
I could actually see something that small, I probably
Yeah, it's like no way.
would.
It's black and white, of course. You know.
Or even just having like a portable radio. Like that's just those were the days. Sorry.
Yeah, the boom boxes and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, and we just
Well,
wanted,
boom boxes. I mean, that was my heyday.
and
The
some of
80s.
them had
My mom was an
TVs in them
aerobics
too.
teacher. She brought her boom box to her aerobics class.
Oh, I found a picture of it. I
You
don't
did?
believe it.
Yeah.
Here, let's share the screen here. Oh man, by the power of the interwebs. Share a screen. Here we go. I can't believe it was on the first page. So this is
I
our
remember those.
kitchen TV. So this was like this little mini. If I click on, does it show us?
My
What's it?
grandmom had one of them. Like
Yeah.
that
So
as her like bedroom TV.
let's go full. Yeah. So this was like in our kitchen for like years and years
So
and
funny. Like
years.
how did like with what people watch nowadays, which I can't even. I don't know. People give me like they make fun of me, but I can't even deal with like the 4K stuff. It creeps me out. But like, how did like you watch that? People are so spoiled nowadays. Oh God, I
And
totally remember the dials like that.
yeah. So that, and I was gonna say, yeah, VHF, UHF.
UHF, yep.
There was a zoom. You could zoom in on this TV. That's I remember that
Oh, I
little
don't
button there.
remember
You
the
could click the
Zoom.
button, and you could zoom in to see. So yeah, that's. I mean, I
So
wish we still had
what I
that.
was talking about is a little bit later on, probably because it's the 80s, but they had like these
Yep.
little. It was like a handheld kind of. And
Yeah,
that's
they did have
4
some
inch. That's
smaller. Yeah,
fine.
they did have. Yeah, but this is.
But that's more of like a
This
TV
gives you an
shape.
idea. Yeah, and then you could have a battery pack. Yeah, there's a battery pack in there that you could have. But yeah, so we had that in our kitchen for years. You'd spin the dial. It was so bad. I mean,
I'm
back
laughing.
then you didn't care. Yeah, so these are bigger. Yeah, these are bigger. Yeah, obviously bigger
Yeah,
version. I
that's
think we
going more into like, and then you would have like, I remember,
this.
then you'd have the huge, like 1,000 pound TV in your living room. It wasn't
Yeah.
huge. It seemed huge because like the whole, they weren't
Oh,
flat
hey,
screen.
Dark Shadow Logan and Dave. Hail. Thanks for stopping by.
Hi.
Yep.
Hey, Dave.
Yes. You you never know what we're going to talk about here, but I know how we got in this conversation. But I guess with the portable TV, but yeah, yeah. So you had one that was like you're talking like a Game Boy almost. Yeah, and
Yeah, it
these
was
were
like a little, it was like a radio and it had the tiniest little screen at the
yeah
top.
something like look how tiny this one is. Yeah,
Yeah, it
little
was
teeny
more like,
pants, but it was more flat though, right? It
it
was
looks
more
like the
flat.
top left there, kind of.
Oh yeah. There was a Walkman TV for
That's
a
what
while.
it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it was a Sony Walkman TV. Yeah, and it had like
That's actually pretty
a curve.
advanced compared to the others. Yeah,
Oh, that
I
was
was
a
like the
cool
coolest
TV.
kid for having
Yeah.
that. I remember my dad got it for me.
Yeah, no, that's a cool TV. Look, let's see. Oh,
That's exactly
$22.
what it was. It was like the shape of a Game Boy.
Yeah. No, I remember friends having those. Yeah, and you could. And I think yeah, you held it vertical. I think yeah, so
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
vertical.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a cool
Like a
design.
walkie-talkie. It looks like almost to me now. An old, larger walkie-talkie.
Yeah, you
But yeah,
can't.
they were tiny.
They won't work now actually because of the they changed the broadcast code. Oh,
Uh
hey,
huh.
rough girl, thanks for swinging
What
by.
up, my
How's
girlfriend?
it going?
How are you doing, rough girl? I'm still looking at Dark Shadow Logan's comment. We look at it as bad now, but back then it was high tech. It totally
Yeah,
was the coolest thing.
yeah, it was totally
I like want one.
totally in the 80s. Yeah. But this is what you get now. You get static, so you have to buy a video converter now. So I don't even know if you could do that because you can use your old TVs, and for a while the government was giving away and over the air digital to analog converter. But I don't even know if you can plug an external antenna into these. So
Can you even do that at all anymore? Is there a regular
yeah,
like
you can still so you can
TV?
still convert, and the government spent millions. So if you had old analog TVs that
Rabbit
wouldn't
ears?
accept, you could buy a converter. So it was you could do it. Yep. So yeah, like analog to digital log TV converter. I don't know who the hell what's going to come up, but yeah. So they have these boxes here where you could convert.
Oh, I think
I don't know
My
if this
mom
is
has
over the
something
air.
like that. And my mom has like didn't have cable for a while, but the channels came up really weird on the TV because it was like a newer TV, which
Yeah.
was very bizarre. And it was like 100.7. Like the actual TV channels were really weird like
Yeah.
that.
So
I
when they
never
switched,
understood it.
yeah. So when they switched to digital, you know, your old tuners wouldn't work on your, you know, if you had an old TV. Like I've got an old, it's kept one of the old black and white TVs for shits and giggles just to show the kids. Yeah, so this would convert it. Yeah, so the antenna would come in here, and the analog out would come out there. So that would accept the digital. You know, you'd have to hook up a digital antenna to it. Yeah, it's $20. I mean, it might be. I don't know if it's worth it to get the. You'd have to carry that around with the Walkman with the Walkman TV to get it to
Figure
get
that
this to work. Yeah, that'd be easier to use your phone.
Oh,
Yep.
it's too funny.
Hey,
Mr.
chemical.
Angel says it wouldn't work over here. Where's analog totally gone?
Well,
Or
USA,
is
it's
it
totally
gone?
gone. I think it's gone most everywhere. Oh, and hey, Gap Stargate, how's it going? Yep.
Yeah.
We're if people are wondering how we started talking about this, we were talking about watching the finale of MASH and TV shows, and mentioned, oh, we, you know, one of the scout meetings that someone brought a portable TV. So, and I said, well, we had this was the TV we had in our kitchen for years, all of like 4 inches to watch. Yep, and no worries about typos on these computers and phones. Yeah, I always spell wrong anyway. But yeah, so you had all these, you know, cool little, yeah, as Dark Shadow Logan saying, all these high tech, you know, high tech devices.
Oh my gosh, the
Oh, we
colored
got a high
bars on
tech
the
device
screen.
coming in. Yeah,
That just like
here's a
brought me back.
here's a
Hi.
high tech person, the great Steve
I can't
Mitchum.
see him.
Oh yeah,
Where is he? I see the top of him.
yeah,
The comments on top of his face. There we go.
yeah,
Hi.
there's. Well, how do I do that? There we go. There's Steve. Yep. Did you have a
Are
black
you?
and white TV like that, Steve? I don't know if you saw what we were showing before. Yep.
Uh, I I do not. I was trying to get Maddie to sleep, and instead I fell asleep. So I just woke up. Um,
That
That's
happened to
okay.
me. That happened to me Friday, and I had set up a stream, like my own stream. I was actually organized and set it up in the morning, and I woke up, and it was like 40 minutes after I was supposed to start. People
That's
were
all right,
waiting in the
right?
chat. People were going, "Wake up, Courtney!" And they caught it. I had fallen asleep.
well,
Well,
I fell asleep, and then I was awakened by a tiny finger poking me in the eye,
That's the best.
and then
ouch.
yeah, and then she finally we both fell asleep again. So yeah, here I am. So
He's alive.
more or less, yeah.
I'm
Uh,
going to
Well,
use this chance to just run away for 1 minute. I'll be right back.
sure, sure. Yep.
we'll sing.
So,
We'll sing a song and dance number while you're gone.
okay, that would be good. Yep. Yeah, check out the Space Helmet TV. Wow, there were some cool black and white TVs back in the day. So, yeah, we're joking about watching some of the old programs. And this is probably how I watched Star Trek because I went to see the motion picture today, the newly restored version, which was a lot of fun. So,
Right.
that was great. Oh, God, that was so good to see. Yep. Look at this, a truly portable TV. It's just so funny now, the tech, you know,
Yeah.
Star Trek tech has come to life now with, you know, you got your iPad. It's a bigger screen, 13 and a half pounds,
Yeah.
leader in portable TV, right? Yep. So,
Um, yeah, and there were sometimes you could get the battery powered option, which was
yep.
you needed about 40 pounds of batteries to
Yeah, because the batteries stunk back then, right?
batteries doubled the weight of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, batteries are not that good. Yeah. But that's just amazing. Yeah. So it's just
I
fun.
I agree, Gap Stargate. I like that TV. It was a fun TV.
So what is let's see, Comic Relief Crew says have one oh Betamax, awesome. Betamax is great, yeah. So yeah, Betamax was actually a much better format than VHS, but it won out over over VHS won out. 8-track player, yep, mine is long gone. Yeah, but I still have a couple Walkmans. My record player is not that good. I have to get one of those new record players. Yep, two 8mm video players, nice. Yep, and two 8mm film projectors. Very cool. Yep. I don't have any. So 8mm. That was the. Are you talking the what format did we have that was in between? It was digital DV tapes. That's what I have. I have a ton of DV tapes. I can convert. I converted those all. Those you can still connect up to the computer, but all my old 8mm tapes. My brother-in-law does has a business called Retro Media, so we converted all the old family movies, and those were a blast. Blast to watch. those were fun. Yep.
Yeah, I used to work in television. My first job as an animator was in television, and yeah, they told me that the reason that the Betamax was, or the Beta, I should say, not Betamax,
Yeah.
which was a brand, but Beta was better, but they wouldn't release the the technology so that other people could make them, and they kept the price very, very high. So even though VHS was not as good, it was cheaper. So
Yep.
we all usually go with cheap if
Cheaper one out, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's a cool looking little portable TV. Yeah, there were some cool designs. Yeah. So yeah, I think my 50-inch flat TV weighs 20 pounds. Yeah, they're so light now. Yeah, the TVs keep getting lighter and lighter. Like my first flat screen, big flat screen TV, I got a was it 48 or 54? You know, I get one every 10 years, and I moved it to work to put it in like the office, and it's like 50 pounds or 60 pounds. I mean, it's not that heavy, you know, relatively. It's not that heavy, but then the next TV I got, which is bigger, it was like half the weight, or a third of the weight. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yep. That's some pretty cool. Like when they in the time of Star Trek when they rounded off the corners of the monitors, and it was
Yeah.
and then everything that had square edges, 90-degree angle corners looked so dated, and now the rounded edges that look so dated.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool retro look though, like the art deco.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
and now the only thing it's good for, because you can stream TV shows and movies and stuff on your cell phone.
Yeah. My son was watching. Game of Thrones in his bedroom on his phone. I came out. What are you watching? He's like, Game of Thrones. I'm like, give me your phone right now and put he had a TV on the wall for his Xbox, and he had streaming. I'm like, you can't watch Game of Thrones on your TV.
Well, I watch. There's on Tubi. There's a lot of things at my television, because I guess I bought it in 2015, and it doesn't have some security tag or whatever. So Tubi won't let me stream. I'm a big fan of the old TV show Shazam. That got me into all this stuff. And I have to watch it on my cell phone, because I can't watch it on my TV.
Wow. Now they came out with that. Did they come out with that Blu-ray finally? Was it on Blu-ray? Or was it only streaming the new updated Shazam?
No, it was on Blu-ray first.
It was on Blu-ray first. Okay.
Yeah, the late great Neil Adams did the artwork.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
No, because I was watching that on before it went to before it was called what's it now, HBO Max. DC had a service which was really cool. They had you could get all the comics, kind of like DC Unlimited, kind of like Marvel Comics, and then they also had streaming service for all their streaming properties, animated films. So it was like a one-stop shop for everything DC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so good to see all that stuff, and they had more shows too, I think, than they do now on HBO Max. And God, it was. Let's see. Well, this is. Oh, we want to get TV show here. So, is this? Is that the Neil Adams, or is that?
That's the Neil Adams cover.
Looks
right there,
like it. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So I recommend everyone getting that, because they did a beautiful job restoring that movie, or not movie, show. Excuse me. I almost finished rewatching it all on that. Back then it was DC Direct, and then they killed the service. You didn't get the comic books anymore, and they went to HBO Max. So I don't know if is it on HBO Max right now. I wonder if that's if that made it to it.
I think it's only on Tubi, simply because I think it can only. I think most of these things can only get an exclusive license. To where,
Yeah,
yeah. So, oh, you did late night Fortnite last night.
yeah, we did a late night. Yep, with Dad Man and a bunch of people hopped on. So Dave hopped on and had some other guests. So yep, so we had a good session. Yep,
Yeah,
and
I
I just
I saw that you were on last night. I was on another stream, and I was
yeah, I
like,
saw you were on.
late.
Yeah, it was late, and then I saw your stream. And I'm like, and I had a semi early morning. I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm not even gonna pop over and say hi because then I'll end up staying up for another half.
Oh yeah, Friday
half
night. Well, Saturday, I should say. I went late because
Yeah,
I
you had like a
was late.
2:40 show or something, or something
Last night
really.
I was on a
Courtney,
couple of
if you can't sleep, look for Courtney, and she's out there. God bless her. I'm a late
I
night
mean
person
something.
too, but yeah,
Mhm. I'm a vampire, I guess. Isn't that what you call it?
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
I'm on
Wednesday
a,
Adams is my spirit child, and she slept in a coffin bed, I think.
I'm the opposite. Because of Maddie, I get up at like 5:30 every morning.
That used to be
So
me.
that's
That
what.
used to be
Yeah.
me when I was a teacher, but
Well, if
not working has
if
changed
I
everything.
if I don't, I will never. Hey, Apollomy. Going through Las Vegas tomorrow. Well, Apollomy goes through Vegas a lot. This must be like
Yeah.
the big hub. You know,
And you guys talked about meeting up someday, I guess, right?
we've been trying to, but every time that she comes through is when either I have Maddie or Saturday would be good, but it's usually a weekday or a Sunday or something, or when I have Maddie and otherwise. So yep, and I haven't been taking Maddie out yet. I've been still shielding her from the scourge of the land, Finatra.
Hail,
Hi,
Finatra.
Finn.
Hail, Finatra.
Hello. How
That's
you
about
doing?
it. Yep.
All right, if Courtney's going to turn on her camera,
Yeah,
then
I was
will.
going to join you before, but then you
Yeah.
didn't. You turned your camera back off. So
All right, we can all go. I got my.
we're
There we go.
free.
I'm free. Yeah.
Okay,
We're
there we
actually
go.
people.
Finn,
Yeah.
you
I mean,
freed us.
they're only going to
We're
look
live.
they're only going to look at Courtney, so
Yeah.
it's not like your audio cut out, Courtney. Yeah, it's anyway.
Well, you're back. I could hear you. Yep. Yep.
That's okay. I'll do her voice for her because that's what women sound like, is high pitched. Hail, Dark Shadow.
So you must know the show, Steve.
Oh, of course, yeah. Be like water, my friend. Now, water can flow, or it can drip, or it can crash. Yeah, he. Longstreet, if you're not familiar with it, was James Franciscus, I believe, who was a blind lawyer before Daredevil. Well, no, I guess not actually before Daredevil. And somebody strong. He basically, some clients or some bad guys start to beat him up, and then lo and behold, this Chinese shopkeeper comes to his rescue and beats everybody. And it's of course Bruce Lee. And so he teaches. Well, he says, He says, I don't believe in systems or in methods. And without systems and without methods, what is there to teach? It was very philosophical. It was mostly Bruce Lee's philosophy of Jeet Kune Do. Very good couple of episodes. So Dark Shadow, Logan, good call, my friend.
Good
Okay.
stuff. Never seen it, but I'll have to look it up. Yep.
You can see, if not the whole episode, you can see clips from it on YouTube. So anything with Bruce Lee, people think of him as either a fighter or a martial arts fighter or something like that. Bruce Lee was a genius. I mean, he was a really brilliant guy. And people don't realize that, number one, Kung Fu could not be taught to people, to Guaylo like myself, foreign devils, if it weren't for Bruce Lee. And there was another guy, an old master as well. But Bruce Lee, there's a lot of lore about Wong Jackman, this Shaolin stylist, who was sent by, I believe it was the San Francisco Chinese Benevolent Association to tell Bruce that he had to stop teaching the foreign devils, or they'd fight. And so Bruce Lee said, "All right, let's fight." And Wong Jack Man allegedly said, "Yeah, you mean right here, right now? No, let's do it right. Let's set it up with rules and values." And Bruce was like, "No, to hell with that. You drop a challenge, we're gonna fight." And it took him, I think, like 4 minutes to beat the guy. And at the end of the fight, he was allegedly, this is all according to Bruce's wife, he was chasing Wong Jack Man around, hitting him in the back of the head, because his style has a lot of this, which, by the way, is not punches to the chin like even masters think it is. And it was from that he realized that, number one, he was not in the physical condition that he needed to be, because he was a much younger guy, and he thought that he could easily beat this older guy.
He was an older guy, yeah.
Yeah, and then number two, he started to realize that his style was limiting, because when a guy is walking away, he didn't know what to do except punch him in the back of the head. So then he realized, okay, maybe my style is not so great. Maybe styles themselves are not so great. Maybe take some of this and some of that. And, so he was doing mixed martial arts, which are actually not even new, but they've been going back for centuries. But in the modern time, Bruce Lee was the first man to teach mixed martial art.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
We can now,
yeah.
yes. Yep.
5 by 5.
I have
Yep.
these type of headphones where Darius Munchausen thought I wore hearing aids for like months because of these headphones.
Well, you are a musician, right? So that's not so uncommon, right? With the musicians knocking out their hearing.
I never was that fancy.
Yeah. No, but with your hearing, with killing your hearing, so you need hearing aids. Yeah, from listening to music way too loud. Your mom's like, turn that down.
Earplugs.
You're gonna be deaf when you're older.
I'm gonna need hearing aids.
Yeah,
probably already do.
Phantom Outsider brought up something that Courtney, I think you're too young to have seen the TV show Shazam back in the 70s.
I mean, I know of it, but I never really.
It was basically
I never watched old episodes of it. So.
Based on a comic book that where a kid, like the last pure-hearted person on Earth, is granted the power of Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury, which formed the anagram Shazam. When he says the magic word, he gets struck by a bolt of lightning and turns into this superpowered character. And in the TV show,
not to be confused with Superman.
Right? Yeah.
I'm interested in the fact that they all stood for a different. That was an anagram.
How long did it take? How long did it take him to think up? Okay, H.
Where does the H go? Yeah.
Yeah. Who's Hercules? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And then they got to S, and like S. Saturn? No, that's the god of war. All right, Solomon. Wait a minute, that's Jewish. Oh well, we were out of ideas, so we threw in. Yeah. But Phantom Outsider mentions, and I've heard this before, that Adam West was the voice of one of the elders. So Courtney, in the TV show, they had each of these Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, and they were semi-animated. And once per episode, Billy would wave his hand over this. It looked like a bowling ball with lights on it, and it would take him into this animated world where he would learn a lesson from these guys, and it would be germane to what was going to happen that episode. Sometimes they quoted, like, who was it that said that the best part of a good man's life are those quiet, unnoticed acts of kindness and of love. Is that Wordsworth, rather, yeah. So this is what Phantom Outsider was talking about. Adam West. Well, there's John. John's like 6'4", so everybody must have been standing on a box to talk to him.
Yeah.
I stand on my tiptoes when I stand. I took a couple of pictures with him, and I stood on my tiptoes because he's very, very tall. Actually, I wanted me a little over 6 feet. I used to be 6'1" and 3/4.
That's like me. I was 5'8". Now I'm 5'7".
Yeah, years, and in my case, it's way. Yeah, there you can see Mark has a picture of Solomon, Hercules standing. Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury, which also, by the way, does not work because they're going between Greek names and Roman names.
Yeah, that's all right.
Solomon, okay, that's out of the Bible, but Hercules would be Heracles. And then the thing is, Zeus, if you go with the rest of them, making them Greek, then Zeus is Jupiter. So it'd be Shazam instead of Shazam. So
And then Hail to Zax. Yep.
Zax didn't know this was Zax. This
Oh,
was a
well,
TV show in the 70s.
yeah.
And I think it's a thing that started the whole trend of superheroes on TV because it had been a decade since, or most part of a decade since Batman. And then this came along and it was so popular, they tried to get Mary Marvel, which was the sister, and DC, seeing what a success TV show was, well, you have to pay a lot for that. So they created something called ISIS, which a woman, an archaeologist, discovers this amulet and gains the powers of the goddess Isis. And then
And
they
she
did
just
this thing.
passed away this year too.
Yeah, she
The
did. Yeah,
actress. Yeah.
or
Yep.
late last year maybe, or but
Yeah.
recently. Yeah,
Recently. Yep. Yep.
Joanna Cameron. Yeah, who was also in Spider-Man.
Another person doesn't remember this. I see
You guys
it
may
looks
not be old enough.
familiar. It looks familiar, like the uniform. I mean, I've definitely seen the imagery somewhere, but I definitely did not watch the
Yeah,
show.
and that opening,
you know,
like
Winnebago or whatever that is.
yeah, the Winnebago, and oh, elders, fleet and strong and wise, appear before my seeking eyes. You know,
That's
just
it.
just did the cadence there, and then yeah. So this was the Shazam van with the RV that no one really knew that this secret identity of Shazam was on this Winnebago, despite the Shazam logo on the
Yeah.
front. It's like we thought that was a good idea to put the Winnebago logo on the front. I wonder if people do that today. Just throw that Shazam logo.
Hail, Hungry
That would be
Boy.
awesome.
Hey, Hungry
Hail,
Boy.
Hungry for more clobbering content. Yeah, we're talking about So Hungry Boy. I don't know if you know that I was a big fan of this show because I was an obese child, or I wasn't obese, but I was a heavyweight child. And then this show got me into comic books, and I started reading. And then when the Hulk came on, that's where I found out that you can actually people weren't just born with muscular bodies; you could build them, and that changed my whole life. I'd probably be dead if it hadn't been for this and the Incredible Hulk. So I finally met Michael Gray, who plays Billy Batson, and John. Uh, my mind is going blank, and I'm friends with the guy. John Duffy, not John Duffy, John Davey. Sorry, John Duffy's a guy I used to work for. John Duffy was stuck in my head because he was a guy I used to work for. I was thinking about him today, but originally it was this guy Jackson Bostwick who looked great in the suit, and then he got fired. They said he was strong arming them by not showing up one day, strong arming them for more money. And he said that the previous day's stunt, something flew and hit him in the eye, and he had to go to a doctor to get it removed. They gave him no opportunity. They called John Davey, who was just sitting at home that day, and said, "Hey, we got this show. It's called Shazam. You'd be a superhero." And he said, "Wow, have some time to think about it." And he said, "Well, you do it quick because you need to be able to set in an hour."
Yeah.
And so he asked his son at the time, "You ever heard of Shazam?" He goes, "Oh, I love Shazam." And he goes, "Well, they want me to be this character called Captain Marvel." And his son was like, "Dad, you got to do it." So, So John is a very interesting guy. He's from a small town that I've been to called Winnemucca, which is surrounded by desert. It's like Gilligan's Island, It looks like it was stopped buying calendars in the 50s. He became a professional boxer. He was Joe Frazier's sparring partner. And then one day, an agent said, "What's a good-looking guy like you doing getting your face punched?" He said, "You should be in television." And he was always either a cop or a bad guy. He was in a lot of TV shows like the Black Sheep Squadron, which is about a real-life World War II squadron of basically ace pilots who were all drunks or fighters, or for whatever reason they were going to get drummed out of the military, and somebody came in, almost like the Suicide Squad or the Expendables, but in real life. And John was in a couple episodes of that. I think he was in Murder, She Wrote.
I like that show.
What's the one with Dick Van Dyke where he was Diagnosis Murder? He was in a lot of those TV shows. And I met him about 4 or 5 years ago, just like the nicest guy, as is Michael Gray. They let me just hang out with them at their booth all day long in Reno. And
Nice.
It's all about the 12-year-old kid that, I keep saying, I've got to stop that. That bugs me when other people do it. So, Yeah, and it wasn't. Winnemucca was mentioned in more than one sitcom. Really, that's astounding, Hungry Boy. Winnemucca's got maybe 1,000 people tops. It's so funny because most of Winnemucca is these old, small 1940s, 1950s houses. And there's like 2 streets with mansions. I think it's
This
a mining town.
this vehicle is amazing me.
Yeah, I love this. So yeah, Gap Stargate was
This is
talking
really
about Arc
cool.
Arc 2, and I actually own the DVDs for this. And being the engineer,
Wow.
I love this. Love these vehicles. I try to build it in Lego, and I guess it's a Ford C Series cab over they converted. But the show was a really cheesy show. And thank you, Gap, for pointing that out. Yeah, so in a world ravaged by pollution, 3 scientists travel around helping people in need. So
It
that
was like
was
a post-apocalyptic type thing, wasn't it?
yeah, it was definitely and there was a chimpanzee that was on the show, and yeah,
I
it was there was
vaguely
a they had a
remember.
flying the guy had
Wow.
he could fly. He had those jetpacks that would fly around for a couple of you can only fly I think for a minute, but yeah, the best remembered for the RV, and it's incorrectly confused with the Damnation Alley vehicle, which is even more awesome, I have to say. And that's a great, great movie. That's Damnation Alley. That's
Where
just,
did that
and that,
beetle just pop up from? I'm sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
You were cooking. Was that part of the
yeah.
show?
I think it was part of the one
Whoops.
of the conversions, probably. Yeah, I think. Yep.
Gotcha.
When they take these vehicles and they just chop them up and and make them into new vehicles. Yeah. So yeah, it was a fun show. Yeah, post-apocalyptic TV show for Saturday morning. We
Sorry,
had
one for kids. Yeah.
Planet of the Apes, and and Gap is saying those Arc 2 DVDs are very rare. Yeah, as soon as it came out, I bought it. I was like, I have to have it. So I guess it's out of print now. So, but yeah, it was there was also live action with the space shows. There was one with Scotty. Oh God, what was the name of that? There were 2 of them. It was they're similar to it was Filmation, I think, or this is Lou Scheimer. What the heck
Bernard
was that?
Prescott.
Someone in the chat will help me out, but it was Space Academy. It was one of them, I think,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and then there was also another space-based one too. I have both of those DVDs, but yeah, it was.
Deborah Pyle was in one, Far Out Space Nuts or something like that.
Yeah. Far Out Space Nuts. Yep, I remember that
Yeah.
one. Yep.
As
But yeah,
well as
here was
Dusty's Trail. Yeah.
so here was the crew. Yeah, here's the DVD. Yep, that's the DVD. Yep. Complete series. Yep, and that he had like a the flying jetpack. So
Yeah.
every episode the guy would
Well, that
fly
was
out.
the standard sci-fi wardrobe until Star Wars.
Yep,
I mean, everybody
jumpsuit.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah, the good guys were always white Earthmen wearing, or sometimes they had black Earthmen too, but they were always wearing like a skin tight suit like that with either Saturn or a rocket emblem on their chest on the
yeah,
side, like in Star Trek. Yeah, up until Star Wars.
yep. Jason Stark, man. Thank you guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jason
And
Stark.
Max Redstone. Yeah, Pigs in Space. Yeah, those are the other classic. Yep.
Maddie, we watch that almost every day. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, good call. Hail, Max.
good call. Yep.
Cool.
Oh, Hungry Boy apparently remembers Far Out Space Nuts. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a crazy
and
show.
Arc
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Oh yeah, but did anybody ever see Lancelot Link? I'll talk about a crazy show.
No.
Lancelot Link was a live action where they had chimpanzees. All the actors were chimpanzees with voiceovers, and it
Oh
was like
God.
it was like Get Smart but with chimps. And the
Wow.
female chimps, of course, had blonde wigs on.
I will be right back. Something huge just blew over in the backyard. It's very windy. I'll be right
Whoa.
back.
Oh, okay. Hope you're okay. Hope
We're not
be
going to
safe.
be in
Yeah.
Colorado anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell the missus. My goodness
Oh,
gracious. $170
$170.
for my DVD. You were,
That's a lot.
don't
It's got to be
don't count.
It's got to be out of print. Yeah,
Oh,
gotta
it's
be
out of
way
print. Yeah, I know it's out of print, but I guess they probably didn't make that many or wowzers. I got to be careful with that DVD.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
That's yeah, it was you know, just you love having those memories as a kid, revisiting those, and I love all these vehicles and everything. So yeah, so I think I bought Jason the Star Command. Yeah, and Sig Haig, yeah, he was a great villain in that. Yep. Let's see, Lancelot Link. Let's see if I can.
Sig, it sounds, yeah. I think it's Linc, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. But yeah. So Hungry
There
Boy
you
must be about as. I'm still trying to figure out who Hungry Boy is because he said that if he put up one panel of his artwork, I would get. If you're Brian Boland, Hungry Boy, I'm gonna like really just geek out because I'm a big Brian
go. Hey,
Boland
no,
fan.
don't out in anyone here. Yep, you gotta. We
And
don't
I
want
said
to
if
reveal any, if.
I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
no I have no knowledge. I have just
Our superheroes in the chat have to keep their secret identities.
I'm
Yeah.
just going by the drawing that I see, and it's really small, but it looks like Judge Dredd, and it I think it might be by Brian Boland, but it's it's tiny on the screen, so I can't really tell. Um, but if you are, I want autographs. I want signatures.
I don't remember this show. Secret Champ. Yep.
Lancelot Link's Secret Champ. Yeah, it was. Yeah, you could see in the Ape Agency to Prevent Evil. Yeah, yeah, it was live action, and they just dubbed the voices over when the chimps were like baring their teeth or whatever, and they would say, jump in the car, Matilda, or whatever. I don't remember that. Yeah, so yep, there's the wig. Or I guess you already passed that. I have two monitors, and one of them is always a minute behind the other one.
Oh, delay. Yep.
So, Hungry Boy says, "I wish Thor, nah, not Boland, but his inking was a huge influence, and yes, that's my dread." Okay. Yeah, Brian Boland. I love Brian.
Great
Boland.
artist. Yep.
Yeah, I just love his work. The way he just carves. I mean, all of his strokes were just, the way he described the form using the direction of the strokes and the perfect anatomy, and it's really good stuff. If you like RoboCop, a TV series, Cheese, they just released RoboCop the complete series. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
An R-rated TV show. They turned into a Saturday morning TV show. I think a lunchbox, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
But the so I think the RoboCop TV show I had bought the made for TV movies that came out with. There's been a bunch of RoboCop stuff. So they had the animated series, then they had I think there were two TV series. There was one that was more kid friendly. There was like a cop with a little girl that was like befriended RoboCop. So I'm thinking that's maybe the TV show. But at one point, I think I'd bought some, but they only had like 4 or 5 episodes. You could buy like certain discs, but they never had the complete series. So that's cool. I'll have to check that out. Yeah. And Gap was saying, do you see the vehicle in Logan's Run? Is this the vehicle you're talking about? Or I'm trying to remember. It's been a long time since I saw Logan's Run. Yeah, this is my favorite. this vehicle is just so cool. And someone actually we talked about it on the show before. Someone actually bought it and is restoring it now. And for years it was out in the desert at I think Arizona. So it lasted. Was preserved pretty well. And it was such a cool idea with those wheels that would flip over. Really well done. It actually worked. Yep. So of course Mad Max. Yep. And the Arc 2. But the Landmaster. That's my favorite. Yeah, that's a great movie. If you haven't seen Damnation Alley, it's really George Papard is in that movie. Let's show some pictures of this beast.
Hungry Boy points out that did Lancelot Link the chimp had a stogie? Yeah, because back in those days you could have cigarettes and cigars. And I was watching the Muppet Show with Maddie, and Leo Sayers on, and he's doing The Show Must Go On, and it's Animal playing the drums and a banjo player with a cigar hanging out or cigarette hanging out of his mouth on a kids show in the 80s. Of course, those days are long gone now.
Yep, no more cigars and kids shows. Yep.
And with we were talking about Shazam, it always ended with Captain Marvel flying, landing, and saying, "Kids, today you saw," and he would give you the moral
the message.
Yeah, at 12 years old, I felt a little condescended to in that, but it was probably meant for kids 2-3 years younger than I was at the time. So, somebody mentioned who's a Phantom Outsider. I'd choose between Super Friends and Hong Kong Phooey.
I
Which
love
one did
Hong
you?
Kong Phooey.
Which one would you choose, Mark?
Usually it was Super Friends, but I did like Hong Kong Phooey. I have to say he was fun. Yep.
With Scatman Crothers. Yep.
So once in a while, but more, I have to admit, to be truthful, was mostly Super Friends, right?
Yeah, I can't watch Super Friends now. I mean, the animation is so limited, and I'm actually working on trying to find examples to explain the 12 principles of animation for Klobby for one of his shows one time.
Do you
I'm
need the
going.
DVDs or
No, I'm just doing YouTube because I'm only doing
yeah,
clips of a
clips? Yeah,
second or
clips.
two
Yeah.
to explain things. Some of the stuff, especially for the DC stuff, when I look at it, with my analytical glasses turned on, some of it was really brilliant, and a lot of it is crap. And so I would choose Hong Kong Phooey because it was much better animated than Super Friends. And I don't mean just character design; I mean the motion, the illusion of life. So
Yep. Yep. And then Hungry Boy just tweeted us Dread Pick. Oh, thank you for that. Yep, check that out in a minute.
is this one of your drawings, Hungry Boy? You said it was my dread, so I guess that's what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, if he keeps calling me Thor, I need to get back to the gym harder if people are going to call me Thor. Because when I was
I'll
working,
pump you up.
well, this shirt is like 20 years old, and when I was in shape, I couldn't wear it because the sleeves were too tight, and now I can fit you in here as well.
You've
So
gotten all flabby. You must
gotten
work out
flabby.
more.
I'm going to pump you up.
You up.
Yeah.
Hans and Franz, the one where
Hans-
he
Hans
goes
and
to
Franz.
he goes to
Yeah.
pull up the barbell and pulls his arms up. There's blood flying everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh yeah.
Because
I was gonna say Damnation Eye with the cockroaches. Yeah, that was a scary scene. If you don't like bugs, yeah.
I've never even heard of this movie, Damnation Alley.
You've never seen Damnation Alley?
Never even
Oh,
heard of
you'll
it.
love it. I don't know. It's George Papard
Yeah.
and Mark Singer, and there's got to be a dog.
Mark Singer, Beastmaster. Mark Singer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so let's go to
Einzar.
yeah, Damnation Alley. Yep. So Jerry Goldsmith. Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, based on the novel. Let's see who. Yeah. Oh no, Jan Michael Vincent. Oh, I mixed them up. Not to be confused with. Yeah, but he was great in that. Yeah, George.
Jan Michael Vincent. I don't think was as good of an actor, but he had a much bigger career.
Yeah.
Yeah, George Papard from his other than that TV show was probably best known from Breakfast at Tiffany's, I think.
And Jackie O'Hara, yeah, he was a kid, obviously a kid in this. Yep. So Earth has been tilted off its axis by the nuclear detonations of World War III. So there's mutated scorpions, and yeah, it's storms, and it's really scary. It's a scary movie. So, but they're trying to get somewhere safe. So, yeah, it's a fun movie.
What year are we talking about here?
This was 1977. So,
wow,
I think it got buried by Star Wars. So it released in September. Yeah, so it was how much my box office 4 million. Oh, rentals. I don't know. I'm not even sure what the box.
Well, there's Jackie Earl Haley. Yeah.
Also
from Shazam.
So yeah, I'd definitely recommend. Definitely recommend this. Yeah. So it's a fun blast from the past. Yep. So and the vehicle is just so cool in it, and the vehicle works too. That was really great. Yep. So
Max Redstone says in Resurrection of the Daleks amidst the death and gun violence in London, the only complaint the media mentioned was someone smoking a cigarette in the first 5 minutes. Gotta love the BBC.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's there's a drawing that Bruce Timm did. It was a one-panel drawing of all the things they were not allowed to do in Batman the Animated Series. So he's got like Batman strangling Catwoman, I think, or strangling the Joker. Somebody strangling somebody, because even though you could punch somebody, they could fall off a building, which was fine, or fall into the ocean from an airplane or something.
Yep.
You couldn't strangle anybody. There could be no nudity. There could be no cigarettes. Nobody could get shot. Yeah, so it was always throwing things at people or throwing people. Or they still were allowed to punch, though.
And Small Time Republic just sent me a Twitter link to this article, so thank you for sending that over. And it looks like the creator of Star Wars X-Wing and Death Star dies at age 90. So that's
Oh, man.
a shame. Yep. Great. Yeah, because that's just such an amazing, iconic design, and the X-Wing fighter is just such a cool design too. So of course, we can reach that. You got to have an X-Wing fighter always nearby, but that's just such a great design, and the
Yeah.
contrast with the TIE fighter is just so nice too. So just it's just a small little metal micro machines, but it's
Yeah.
pretty nice detail on a small
You know,
craft. But
yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just say the contrast is so great in the movie because you've got the X-wing fighter that's long and obviously with the X, and the
Right.
TIE fighter with the two vertical, fins on the end, kind of
Yep.
And where's my? I'm not going to grab it. I have a TIE fighter up there, and it just great for as just for your eye just to follow. You can always tell good guy, bad guy
Hmm.
instantly in that film.
Yep. That's a good point. Also, for young people who don't remember this, before this, sci-fi consisted largely of rockets and saucers. And I remember reading that Gene Roddenberry didn't want the Enterprise to be a rocket or a saucer, so Jeffries put 3 rockets on a saucer. That was
Right.
the Enterprise, but it was still different for its time.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say the exception would be Planet of the Apes, because in the first movie, their ship was, basically like a fighter plane. It wasn't a rocket or a disc. It was that um, shaped almost like a star destroyer.
Yeah, because some of the initial comic books of Gold Key, they actually they didn't have the short had been a hunt, so they had rocket flames coming out of the cells on Star
Yeah.
Trek comics. So it was funny. Yeah.
Well, the comics. I mean, I still remember the cover of Star Wars. I think it was issue 5 where Luke is saying, "Swing that lightsaber, Ben, or we're doomed." It's great
Yeah.
dialogue. It's nowhere
Yeah.
in the thing. Yeah. Wizards.
And yeah.
I
And
got some
Gap.
Wizards fans here. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was gonna say Gap Star. So okay, I've got X-wing envy. This is a 2-inch X-wing, and he's got a 2-foot X-wing. So yeah, my X-wing is not that big yet. I never got the toys as a kid, which is crazy. I have the Battlestar Galactica toys, but I never. But I always wanted the Millennium Falcon, but I never. It was too expensive, so I never got that as a gift. And I always had the Micronauts, so I always got Micronauts toys. I never had Star Wars. I had a few of the figures, but not like a crazy Star Wars collection, which is strange. I don't know why, but I just like the Micronauts so much. But looking back, I wish I had gotten more of the Star. Well, I love Micronauts, but also had a few more of the Star Wars things or some vehicles. But everyone, they would have been trashed anyway. But it still would have been fun to have. But everyone had, my age had, X-wings and Tie fighters, and they all were beat to hell, but I had a lot of fun with those. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
did you have any of those toys growing up, or Star Wars stuff, or?
I don't. I still have somewhere, although half eaten by squirrels. The Star Wars board game.
Oh
The
yeah.
Star Wars board game. I had the T-shirts, which I wore until the cotton molecules just one day just gave up their cohesion and just faded. Drifted off into space. I
Yeah.
do have the Story of Star Wars album, and I have the Star Wars soundtrack album. They're in sleeves, and they're as good as the day they were
Nice.
purchased. Yeah. But I didn't have. I was never a big toy buyer. Yeah, I had G.I. Joe when I was a kid. I had a space helmet when I was a little boy that I got for Christmas one year. and that's kind of it. Yeah, I didn't really have a lot of toys.
Yeah.
And as an adult, the only stuff I have, like I've mentioned in a previous show, is stuff that I got from, from licensors to say, okay, you need to build this in 3D. This is what it looks like.
Now, why didn't I get a job like that? I was making hand tools for electricians. Come on. I should have been making. We should have been making toys. We had no profits, but yeah, that's awesome.
This was harder to make than the actual the tumbler, but yeah. And then the good part was animating it. And funny, the thing that I'm probably most proud of on that game is just on the screen where Batman's just standing on a rooftop and is not doing anything except his cape is blowing, and people ask me if I used wind simulations on that. I'm like, nope, it's all hand keyed. So anyway, yeah, but that's I'm getting off of point. But yeah, I've never never bought any toys. To this day, I think all the toys that I have and posters, like I didn't buy either of these posters; they were given to me.
Yep.
Everything I have is stuff that I have. I have a lot of Thor stuff. I have a Thor Pez. I have a Thor bobblehead. I have a Thor keychain. I have all this Thor stuff that was given to me because I had long blonde hair and at one time muscles. And the only thing that I ever really used was the Thor keychain because it had a little hammer. It was pretty cool. So, yeah.
Did you ever try hitting the hammer on the ground to see if it worked, or suddenly get more muscles or anything?
Okay, so I can actually prove one of these stories, but I was helping a friend move, and he's an English guy, and it was really hot in Reno, and he said, "Man, I wish it would rain." And just clowning around, I walked out and went like this, and it did drizzle. It drizzled for like a minute and a half, and then one time I was walking out of Target, and I could smell. You know how you can sometimes smell the ozone before it rains.
Yeah. Yep.
And I did the same thing, and I went like that. I went, and it started raining. It's like I don't believe in Thor, but I believe in God. And I think he's got a sense of humor, So, and a little kid in the back of a van freaked out when he saw the rain start.
There's a Micronaut for Hungry Boy. Yep. My Shogun Warrior is packed away somewhere. I've got to liberate him from one of the boxes in the attic. But but yeah, it's a lot of fun having all those. I'm guessing I have more old toys than you, and I kept a lot of toys that I had as a kid, but never went nuts over the Star Wars stuff. Yeah, the Shogun Warriors. Yeah, that was a great toy too. Yep. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Starcraft shapes. Yep. Yeah, you always had the classic, Buck Rogers, the saucer. You had the, on a string basically with the, flying across the screen. Yeah.
Oh, Micronaut?
Those are Micronauts. Yep.
Okay.
So these are, most of them are not I just keep these on my desk, but I did that video about printing these stands that Toy Polloi had done. So they make these cool little stands for them because they're old, and after 40 years, it's tough to stand up. And I had to repair, the rubber bands
40 years?
I guess, right? Yeah, 1977, right? So how do the math? I guess, right? So and they're metal too. These guys are metal, so they're heavy suckers. So
was this a TV show?
No, they threatened to make an animated show out of it. You've never seen the Micronauts toys and stuff?
No, I've only heard of them.
Heard about it
from guys like you and Clobby. Speaking of it.
Well, here we'll show that, but let's just before we do that, let's read about Colin Cantwell. So I guess he designed the prototype for the X-wing, the TIE Fighter, and the Death Star. Worked on 2001 Close Encounters and War Games. He was born in 1932. He attended the University of California, where he got a degree in animation. He also attended Frank Lloyd Wright School of Architecture. So, wow. And he worked at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory at NASA on educational programs about flights. Wow. So he worked with Walter Cronkite to the TV feed during the 1969 moon landing, which did happen. Don't tell me it didn't happen. And he wrote 2 novels. Yeah, so quite a history. Yep. So God rest. Yeah, those are great designs. Here we go. If you ask and ye shall receive. Yeah. So here, of course, were the these were the comics that were based on the Micromen from Japan. So when they came to the USA, it was the Interchangeable World of the Micronauts, and that was they changed the name from the Micromen to the Micronauts when Mego brought them here. So here's some of the coolest, really cool toys, and they had some. Hasbro's got the license, so they re-released these toys at one of the cons a few years ago. So the Pharoid, I have all these figures, so I was like, should I buy them again? Um, and then this was the animated cartoon that they were going to do, and then but never happened. So they had some pictures and sketches, and they'd started to work on an animated cartoon. So but the great thing about it, Michael Golden and all the people working on this comic, they had these figures, but then they created a great world about them, and the first 12 issues of Micronauts are really great read. So and the figures are all interchangeable. So here's a Croyer, and there's the time travelers here. There's the Pharoids, and so there are all these pegs that you can remove. There's Repto. So I'm looking at he's hanging from my ceiling right now. I have him. So it was a fun toy because you could interchange all the different parts, and they all fit in the vehicles. And I don't have these are the ones I never got. Were Baron Cars, and they're magnets, so he could change. He could go from a centaur to a person. So he was kind of like a Darth Vader type character. Let's see. So here, if we go into there's that Space 99 Eagle, which is so awesome. There's Biotron. There's the Astro Station. Wow, $11. So I have that hanging from my ceiling right now. Oh, Courtney's back.
Yes.
Hope everything's okay, Courtney. You all right?
Yeah. I didn't realize that everything had come off on the computer. The power must have flipped. Yeah, we had it was snowy here, so there was a ladder on the side of the trailer to get up onto the roof so they could shovel, and the ladder was still up there.
Oh,
It wasn't anymore.
Dangling.
And it's just me here, so I had to get the neighbor.
Okay, hope everything's okay. Yep.
It's fine. It's just I heard there's like huge. It's really windy outside.
Wow, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Stay safe. No. So yeah.
Out of breath now. I'm gonna sound like
No, be okay. Yeah. No, want to be. Don't. How safety comes first. Yep. So we're talking Micronauts. So this was one of my favorite toys as a kid in the 70s. So Phantom saying we're Croyer, Marinette, Bug, Ran, and Baron Karza. So the story between those characters. So what they did when it came to Marvel, these Croyer is owned by I guess it's Hasbro now. So, but the artist created Commander Ran, Marinette, and Bug. So these three characters here could appear in any Marvel Universe films, because Marvel owns the likenesses to these characters, so they're created, even though they're Micronauts. But you couldn't have, some of the, like Biotron, Baron Karza, Croyer can't appear because they originally appeared in the as a toy. They weren't created by Marvel. So it's here's a video too how the Micronauts how they keep getting canceled, and they keep trying to bring them back, but so that's a crazy licensing issue. So Bug has actually appeared in some issues recently. Well, I shouldn't say recently, but he was in some old Captain Marvel years ago, and so they bring him back once in a while, or they'll have like an adventure. So when Ant-Man and Wasp occurred, they go into that quantum zone. It's really supposed to be the microverse, but they can't use the word microverse anymore because of licensing. So they say quantum zone. So I'm like, oh, it'd be so cool if one of the Micronauts appeared, or Bug could appear, but not a Croyer. So it's really a fun space adventure. Kind of similar to I would say Star Wars, and some not differences, but that same kind of feel to it. The toys were just so much fun as a kid. And,
it's funny because I don't remember the toys as a kid. They were like before my time, but when I was in high school, I dated someone a couple years older, and he collected like antique toys. And I remember those from like later years.
Yeah.
Hail, hail, Captain James T. Skywalker.
Hey, Captain. How's it going?
He says,
Rom for president.
Rom for president.
Rom was a great comic. The toy was kind of crummy. Don't get mad at me. The toy was expensive, and I had a buddy who had it, and never really worked that well. And it was really. I'll show Rom toy next, but I'm trying to see if we get show some of the vehicles here. Oh, here's a good screenshot here with all the different different vehicles. So I've doesn't let you blow it up there, but I've got that Astro Station. I've got a bunch of these, so what you could do is take them apart, like I said, and put them back together. Let's see if I do. I don't have Biotron. Oh, yeah, here's Microtron. I have that guy. Yep. Watch out for that drill. That's a good idea to put the drill there. So I've got to redo my figures. Kind of. Where's Microtron? I'll grab it.
Max Redstone, Quark. Is this the Quark from?
That's in a way.
Is this Quark from DS9 you're talking about? Bark for Quark.
Let's see. Where's that? Well, Quark. Oh, let's see. Where's that comment? I'm trying to see.
Of 2000, the president thing in regards to.
I'm trying to find. Oh, Quark. Oh, 20.
Bark
for Quark.
Yeah.
Trying to find. Yep.
Hungry for more Clomber content had that one, Mark.
Let's see. Yep.
Phantom Outsider is essentially threatening you. Mark D with a C. Do not diss Rom. and then he wrote LO. And then he wrote LOL. But anytime I see LOL, all I can see is a TIE fighter from Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah. So this toy. No, it was. Everyone wanted it, but when you tried to use it, like it had all these features that just like it just would never work. And I didn't have it, but and it didn't look as cool. Obviously, as cool as the comic book character, but God, it's a huge collectible today. If it's worth a ton of money. But
that
it just
toy
never
is
worked.
Very cool looking.
Yeah, but it never worked that well. That's as a kid, as an 8-year-old kid, you're like, Rom is not working, and I love the comic. I'm trying to find let's see if they have something that shows that what is features or whatever here. It's Pinterest you can never zoom into. Let's see, Parker Brothers. That's the same. Let's see, open image in tab. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Yep. Let's zoom in on this. Yeah, so it just it promised a lot, and in my opinion, it lit up a little bit, and then breathing sounds and flashing lights. But for the bang for your buck, I mean, hey, well, if you got a ROM, if you have a ROM now, it's worth a ton of money. But it's we were disappointed as kids. But yeah, I wish. Don't get me wrong, I wish we still had that.
The breathing sounds, that was funny. Breathing sounds.
Yeah. But I mean, just like the Micronauts that came up with this whole world, the artists and writers, and really did a great job, with the story. It really was a great to read. Yep. Diaclone. I do not have any. Yeah, let's show that. Yep. DIA. It's a transformer. Yep.
I have a scared dog.
Yep. Oh, with the storm, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So Rom, don't. Rom was not the greatest toy. Yep. I have to defend Rom, otherwise I'll get crap from my brother. Yeah. Right. Rom always looked like a silent and yeah, the head, the artwork on the comic was much better. Yeah. And Marvel Rom was great, but IDW Rom could have been more, but it was good. Yeah, and I think they were going to put Rom in Guardian of the Galaxies, and the director asked, he's like, I want to put Rom in, and he's like, they lost the rights to ROM too, so they can't use ROM. So it would have been great if they had him. Yep. Yeah, breathing sounds maybe should not have been heard. Yeah. And Diaclone is pre-Transformers. Yep. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not a Transformers expert. That's a little bit after my. It's funny, like when you're
My
born.
time.
Yeah, it's like a little bit. I missed it by like 5 years. So I watched a little bit of the cartoon and the TV show. But kids that were about 5 or 6 years younger, that was God, that was there. Love the Transformers. Yep. So, what was your favorite toy as a kid, Courtney? Do you have any favorites or?
Yeah, I did. My talking Alf doll.
Oh, that's cool.
I know that's going like way after that, but I was really I played with a lot of my brother's toys because my brother always my dad favored my brother like before my parents were divorced. So I played with a lot of G.I. Joe and stuff, but I really liked strawberry shortcake dolls. Like I never had Barbies. Like I think I'm the only one of all my girlfriends that never owned a Barbie.
Wow, that's
But I liked
unusual,
My
I have
Little
to say, yeah.
Pony. And I liked a lot of the nerdier toys too. Like I loved my Speak and Spell.
Oh, that's a classic. Yeah, the
Yeah,
TI-99
yes,
speaking spot. Yeah.
that I still have a talking Alf doll at my mom's house. It doesn't work, and it's very mangy.
Is this the one? Probably Kaliko. Does that look like him?
I'm sure. I don't remember what the box
Probably.
looked like because it was
Yeah.
ripped right out of
The
the
box is gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wisecracking Alf. Yeah, Alf was alien life form. God, Alf was great. Yeah, funny show.
I loved Alf. I still have Alf beach towels. Oh, the dog went running.
Wow, fan says his brother had almost every Transformer. Wow. and PCR says Marvel lost the rights to ROM. That's probably a good thing, I guess. But James Gunn did a pretty good job with Guardians of the Galaxy, so it might have been good at that point. Yep. So yeah, Marvel is still a space that's been over ROM. Yep. Rejected prototype of Marvin the manically depressed robot. That's from Adams. Yep. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah. The depressed robot. Yep. Oh, it's all good stuff. Yep. Well, we actually had I had the Barney for my kids. I got that Barney. What was it called? It was Microsoft Barney. It was What did they call it? Let me put this in. What do they call Actimates? Thank you. There, brain, come on, work. So it was Barney Actimates. So it was like this robot Barney, and I still have him. And you could hook him up to the computer. Yeah, they had this interactive infrared. It was a pretty cool system actually back in the day. Here it is. So obviously it won't work now, I think, with the old computers, but you had this. You plug this up with a serial port to your computer and power it up, and Barney you'd watch a VCR tape, and Barney would react to what was on the TV. So it was pretty wild.
Barney
actually.
Come out because that's like I remember making fun of Barney. I think I was in high school.
Yeah, Barney's got to be early 90s maybe.
I love you. You love me. We're a dysfunctional family. That's more like my family too, Captain James.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Teletubbies, I was too old for those. So that's like after you guys got before.
I have some of these Teletubbies toys too. I bought these for the kids. And then you push the button in the middle and it would light up. It was really, really creepy. Let's see if I wonder if they have a video we could play of this. Yep. Yeah, here's here's a Barney demonstration. Yeah, so
that mustache.
Yeah, so it would do something, and the thing would move, and you could squeeze his hand. There was a switch in the hand that you could squeeze. Yeah, so that's where you could hook it up to the computer and do all kinds of things. So it was actually a pretty high tech toy for the time. But yeah, it would move, and I wonder if my Barney still. I should pull him out of the basement, see if he still works. He sings and moves, and they don't really do. I guess they do some toys like that now, but yeah, it was it was pretty fun. Yeah. But then after a while, you're like, no more singing, no more, stop.
But that
You
song
can't
was
take it.
so.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
my sister was like, those were her. Like she had stuff like that. I was
yeah,
18 when she was 6. So
yeah.
um, that song was just horrible. I love you.
You love me. Yeah,
Yeah, we're best friends, or can't you see? I can't even remember what they said. But
yeah.
yeah, that's the best one. We're a dysfunctional family.
Like, yeah. Oh, Teddy Ruxpin. Yeah, that's
That's
the other. That's the other one that was really popular. That was more popular than the Microsoft one. Yeah, that one. That one would talk too. Yep.
that was like that was the one that I never had, but then I had the talking off doll, so it made up for it.
Made up for it, right?
Yeah, I did get a Cabbage Patch Kid though the day they came out, which was like unheard of. Um,
Wow.
that people were like shooting each other.
Yeah, Cabbage
Cabbage
Patch
Patch
Kids. Yeah,
Kids.
and such a damn ugly doll too. Yeah,
I love them. I have so many pictures of myself with Cabbage Patch Kids. Like me and my friend, like them dressed up with hats on for like New Year's Eve, and that was so. I guess maybe that was another one. There was
yeah.
really real dolls, baby dolls. I remember.
Oh, cool. Phantom's got a YouTuber, Feltspug. That's my brother's in Taiwan. Have to check that.
Oh,
Okay. Yep.
my nieces and nephew are half Taiwanese. My sister-in-law is first generation. So yeah, I think so. That's what that means, right? She was born here, and her parents were born in
Yep.
Taiwan. Mhm. They're really
That's-
cute. Half Irish, Scottish, and half Taiwanese. They make the cutest babies.
Have you seen Maddie?
Yes,
She's
she's
half
adorable.
she's half Filipina, and I think she's partly Chinese too. And yeah, a little everything. And thank you for saying that, by the way.
She's
Otherwise, lightning will strike you down. Yeah, just
Well,
kidding.
when I was when I was trying to get my ex-wife to date me, had I known, one of the things I said was, well, if the kids will be beautiful because if you ever see, usually half Asian people are just really good looking.
they are.
Kelly who was what's her character, Deathstrike or something in the X-Men films. She was the one that had the claws that grew out of her fingers.
Fingertips. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, she's
Lady Deathstrike. Yep.
yeah, she's Chinese. I think she's Chinese and Irish. Dean Cain is Japanese, and I don't know what his white part is, but usually when somebody is if you ever saw Brandon Lee, women were
Hmm.
crazy. Women were crazy for Brandon Lee.
The Crow,
Um,
right?
the
Yep.
Crow, yeah, among other
Hmm.
things, yeah, and his sister was beautiful too. So that was one of the things I did to convince my ex-wife to start dating me was how good looking our kids would be, and I think Maddie is beautiful. Of course, I'm her dad.
You're slightly biased. Yeah.
She's beautiful. I can confirm it.
She's very
She's
cute. Yeah.
beautiful.
No. No. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Courtney.
Yeah.
There is
And
something about mixed. I don't know, mixed race. Like I love it. I don't know.
it's if you study anything about genetics, genetic diversity does produce usually the strongest offspring, both intellectually. They have fewer, usually fewer. If you trace like the history of the royal families in Europe, they had a lot of people who were not only hideously ugly because they were essentially
The Habsburg lip and the and all the blood diseases. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
because they were marrying within their own family
Yeah.
lines. It was it's essentially incest. And so yeah, you had a lot of those problems when and the more diverse genetic diversity you have, the stronger you know the
My
offspring.
nephew is and you mentioned this about Maddie too, but my nephew, he's about to turn 7. He does like these huge piano recitals. He's like, I was really good as a kid too, but he also does karate, and he's like belted up twice already. He wins chess tournaments. He was winning chess tournaments at age 5, and he speaks 3 languages: Spanish, English, and is it
Cantonese.
I don't know what they speak in Taiwan,
Well,
but
I
it's
know I'm
In
a
Taiwan,
slacker. Then
they speak
I'm a
Mandarin.
slacker because I'm gonna be.
Mandarin. Is that what it,
I'm in my
In Tai-
50s and I only got 1.5 languages, and I lose at
that's about
chess
me.
often. So
Oh no, my nephew beats my dad and my not always my brother, but my dad. Like it's pop up and they play together chess. He beats my dad. I won't even do it because my brother always beat me at chess, so he scarred me for life.
That's very, that's very, very Courtney cool. That's very Courtney cool. I sound like I'm on a first date with you. That's very Courtney cool.
Just 2 minutes.
Those are the same languages that I speak. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
cool. So I could talk to him, and and I'm going to teach Maddie this. I'm going to teach Maddie Mandarin mainly so our mother won't be able to understand when we talk. Just to exclude her from the conversation because Maddie's mom speaks Spanish. She spent
I
a
wish
year.
I'd taken Spanish. I took French like a dummy. It's not useful.
She spent Melanie spent a year in Bolivia taking care of orphan children. The stories are just heartbreaking, But French, yeah, I probably should have taken some French, living in Louisiana for most of my life, because
The only time I've used it is when I'm in France.
Mm.
Really, just never.
If you could travel to Louisiana of the 1970s or the 1960s, you could use it a lot.
French Quarter.
Not just the French Quarter, like Louisiana was essentially.
I've never been to New Orleans, however they say it, New Orleans.
Nobody they say no. They say New Orleans. Nobody. The only people who say Nolans are people on television and tourists who want to get mugged.
So New Orleans, right? But not New Orleans. It's
How do I say it?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
But
yeah.
but when I'm supposed to be cool, everyone says New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah, but they don't say the new. They always say you always say no, like
No,
if you're
that's tourists.
That's the TV show Tourists. All right.
Yeah, I mean, listen to Clobby. Does Clobby sound like any of those? He was born and raised in Louisiana, as was Pat S. Do any of those guys sound like those terrible Southern accents or Louisiana accents? Like in the cartoons when they have Gambit or somebody, they're all like, oh, mon chéri, it's like they're going back to the 1920s for those accents,
I remember.
Yeah, but I saw it on the
Pat
internet.
S was from like around the Philadelphia area, like not a Philly accent, but like a Delaware County accent. When I first heard his voice, and he was like, "No, I'm from." I was like, "What?" But you get that with like some people from Virginia too. My ex is from Virginia, from Richmond, and they kind of have a similar. I don't know.
Well, that's interesting, Phantom Outsider. He's Filipino, Spanish, Native American, specifically Lenny Lenape.
Lenny Lenape.
I'm not familiar with that.
Lenny Lenape? Is that Lenape?
Yeah. I've heard that tribe before, but I can't pronounce anything. So
I tend to believe him because usually when people say that they're part Native American, they always go with Cherokee. And it's got to be because of that song from the 70s, Cherokee.
And Elizabeth Warren.
And Elizabeth Warren, yes, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, freckled, whiter than a sheet of paper.
And then she entered she entered recipes in her Cherokee cookbook, and then they did research, and she actually plagiarized one of the recipes from the New York Times, like word for word.
I'm in shock.
Yeah.
She said that they used to make fun of her when she was a kid because she was an Indian, and people would go ooh, and I'm really was it the blonde hair or the freckles?
Yeah,
it tipped them off.
I'm actually a blonde. I was as blonder than you as a kid. Like Children of the Corn is what I say.
Let's say goodnight to Gap Stargate. So take care, Gap Stargate. Thanks for hanging with us. Yep, appreciate it. Yep.
Good night.
Have a good day. Great week. No, I was just gonna say have a great week. Yep. Go to bed. Get out of here. Yeah.
Back to
I always get jealous when people have all these different like ethnic backgrounds or whatever. My brother got me the ancestry DNA thing or whatever for Christmas. And I was really hoping to have just something odd in there, like anything that gave me the hopes of getting a tan ever in life. Was pretty much what it was.
Not spontaneously combusting. Yeah.
And I came back 60% Irish, 38% Scottish. That's 98%.
Yeah.
And then 2% French. I was like, there's nothing else there. Are you kidding me?
Well, so Mark has heard me kind of drone on endlessly about this. I say forget about the DNA stuff and do the genealogy, because I thought that my really? Oh, did you find anything interesting?
My aunt did, I should say. My aunt did it for all, like she went down because they were adopted, so she went down and found out all this stuff.
Wow, that's interesting.
and there's German. But I didn't get the German. You know, they say you get like half of. You don't get all the DNA or whatever. When they do the DNA test, you get like half of 50%.
We were too poor. We were too poor to get
Something.
all the DNA. When I was a kid.
But
Well,
I didn't have any German showed up, and like my cousins did and stuff. So
see, I didn't. I found all this stuff through the, not through the DNA, but through the
the family tree.
Genealogy. Yeah.
genealogy thing. That's what I was looking for.
Good night to Comic Relief Crusader. Yep.
Good night,
Sorry to interrupt. Yep.
CRC. And Mark knows this. I found out that my father, who was descended from illiterate redneck dirt farmers who, tried to grow dirt. That's how dumb my father's inbred, family tree doesn't fork.
Yeah.
Like a Jeff Foxworthy routine. If you go to a family reunion to pick up chicks, you might be a Mitchum. And we descend from my father, and Mark's heard all this before. My father went to his grave thinking that we were Dutch, and we're descended from two English knights. And I traced my ancestry back to a name that I thought was a very southern name, Anne Culpeper, in 1490 England.
very.
But very briefly, two sirs, Sir James Howe and Sir Thomas Rich. James Howe's granddaughter moved in 1600, moved to the Massachusetts Bay Colony, and in 1630 was hanged as a witch. And there were nobody was burned as a witch, by the way. That's apparently is a myth. But there's an official apology from the city of Ipswich, Massachusetts, to my family.
Ipswich.
Good. Yeah.
I've never heard of Ipswich.
Yep.
I did like observations for teaching there when I was in college.
And you guys are kind of from the New England, you and Mark. So
Yeah.
Well, I'm from Philly, but I lived in Boston. So, and my family all in Connecticut. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So all the stuff I found out, like I found recently a picture of my Italian great grandmother, who I just occurred to me recently, would have spoken to my mother like this. So my English is not so good. And I was expecting a petite little Italian woman. Oh boy. Wow.
Oh.
Mark, she could have taken you 2 falls out of 3.
That's my step family. I was raised by, I always say I was
Don't mess
raised
with
by
an Italian
Italians.
grandmother. Yeah.
And all the women were very, very big.
Recently.
I just want to say good luck to Comic Relief Crusader. Sorry we want to wish them all luck for the rest of the week. So, yep, be good out there, buddy. Yep, and I hope you have a good week. Yep.
Good luck. I didn't see the comments.
Good luck, buddy.
Yep.
But I found out so much interesting stuff that I'm always telling people, go do the genealogy because you'll learn all this cool stuff. I had an answer. Again, I apologize to Mark for having heard all this before, but I have an Ichabod in my family tree and an Ebenezer.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I have ancestors. I have an ancestor that drove an ambulance for the Confederacy in the Civil War, and another ancestor that drove an ambulance for the Union in the Civil War. And about a month ago, a man posted a picture of my great grandfather on my mother's non-Italian side from the 1800s, and he looks exactly like you would expect—the big old handlebar mustache, and
I've got pictures like that, and that's the German side though, which is weird because I didn't come back with any German in the DNA thing. But
I never knew I was part German, but I'm a Grimm. Oh,
they're the it's like Schlichter. It sounds like it sounds Jewish to me, kind of like German Jew or something. Schlichter. I was like, that's the ugliest. That's Schlichter. It's like
it sounds like a swear word.
Yeah, it's like you gotta
or like, I'm sorry, yeah, we gotta take a look at your Schlichter. Yeah.
Yep. But that's where all the height comes in my family, and I'm like the tallest in my family. Everyone else is like a shorty. So I always wondered where. Height.
And I found out also that so my father was born in Logan Store Township in Rutherfordton, North Carolina, a dry county. And I found out that town was founded by another ancestor of mine, James Logan from Ireland. He was an Irishman, so I'm part Irish as well. And anybody who read comic books in I think it was the 80s, for a brief time, Wolverine's real name was James Logan. for a brief
Yep.
time. So I'm descended from Wolverine. So I'm not Thor at all. Hey, bub. I found all this cool stuff. That's why I tell everybody, if you can do if you can do the genealogy, if you can do it through Ancestry or other means, do it, because you don't know what you will find.
The pictures are the greatest to find. Like I found a picture of it would be my great grandmother, and she's like putting clothes up, hanging clothes up on the clothesline, but she's in this, like, she must be like a bathing suit maybe, but it looks like a mini dress, and she's wearing heels. I mean, they're thick, chunky heels, but she's putting clothes on the line. I'm like, she looks fabulous. Like, what is this picture?
Well, Courtney, I found something that I think I can safely say most people are not lucky enough to have. I found a photograph of a painting of my great 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 grandfather. That was and he was the knight, which is the reason why there's a painting of him. So yeah, so I could see and people always look at it and they think it's Isaac Newton, because he's wearing like the Elizabethan collar and the whole 9 yards.
Does that sound like Shinkter? That's
It sounds like the meatloaf is ready. Yeah.
That's the Wolverine. Yeah. Sorry. Take your best shot. I don't know how that comes through, but
I love
my
that
kids.
you can
My kids
reach and have every toy available. Yeah. I want that.
So my kids, they would just press this button all day, like all right. After a few hours of this, can you please stop, guys? But yeah,
you look like you're shaving. Phantom Outsider, thank you. I love this community because you guys are all so nice. Phantom Outsider says Steve Mitchum, maybe a mutant. Maddie might have an ultra cute mutant ability. That is the kindest. Thank you so much, Phantom. Phantom Outsider is multiracial too, so he's probably a good-looking dude as well. Although he's also one of us, which might mean he has a weight problem.
Whenever anyone says one of us, I think of
One of us.
One of
us.
What was that movie? That was from the 20s. Yeah, was it Freaks? Or what was it? Freaks, right? Yeah.
Freaks. Yeah.
Was that black and white? It was black and white too, wasn't it? Yeah.
I like black and white movies.
Yeah. But we welcome all the freaks here. Yep, and the geeks. Yep, and another great TV show. Yeah,
that was an awesome show.
I love Freaks and Geeks.
Show. Yeah. That was
really good. That took a long time to get on to DVD because of the music rights. So it all kinds of great, great Who and Zeppelin and great soundtrack in there. And one of the guys was trying to become a drummer. I can't remember the actor's name, but he wanted to be a drummer. And he's trying out for a band. They're like, "You're horrible. Stay in school. Don't drop out of school."
Hey, let me. Can I say one thing that I found that was really cool? Because
sure,
Courtney, you might find this interesting. Actually, Mark, you might as well. And by the way, Captain James C. Skywalker is going to go see Star Trek motion picture based on your. Yeah, oh, there it is. Yeah, put it on the screen. I found out last week, and since I could say it here because nobody from my ex-wife's family is going to see this, I got an email from. That's what they do for ancestries. They send you these emails and say, "Hey, we think we found another one of your ancestors."
I get those.
Yeah.
And it was Madeline Ungwai, which was my wife's maiden name. And so I immediately texted her and said, "Do you had an Aunt Madeline?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Well, Ancestry thinks that you do." And she said, "Well, send it to me." And she said, "Yeah, this is my family." So she had an Aunt Madeline who died when her dad was 2, and he doesn't know that she existed.
Wow.
Isn't that something? And I don't think that Melanie is I don't know if she's going to tell him or not.
Well, that's how, my mom, there were 3 sisters and they were all adopted. And my mom was adopted with her one sister. But that's how the 3 sisters found each other. My Aunt Martha did all this deep diving into
the DNA and genealogy.
Yeah, and they didn't meet till they were like in their 20s.
Wow.
Martha, why did you say that name?
Martha.
I have 2 Marthas in my family tree as well, in addition to Ichabod. And and every time I see it, all I can think of is, why did you say that name?
I have very old names. Like there's 2 Betsy's.
Oh, you don't hear a lot of those anymore.
Elsie and Agnes. Those are all pretty.
Agnes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are names. Well, I mean, Emma came back for a while.
Yep.
10 years ago, everybody was naming
And
their kid
that's
Emily.
funny. That's my cousin's name. Martha's daughter is Emily. It's funny.
It's funny when I picked the name. Well, Madeline was my mother's name, but I had to talk my ex into that name. And one of the things I said was, well, it's not like a made up name. It's not something where people would go, "What is that? Huh?" But it's
Yeah.
not super common. But apparently, it's become common because
It
everywhere
has
I
become
turn,
common now. It's an
there's
awesome
yeah.
name, though. I
My
love
my,
the name
my
Madeline.
son is
Oh.
dating a Madeline now. Actually,
You're kidding?
no,
Wow.
I just met her last weekend. Yep. So
Is she?
it's very nice. Yep.
Is she? Let me say.
And she's actually half Korean and half
son of a gun.
yeah, yep.
Oh,
So she's
wow.
mixed too. Yep, yep. Very
I
cute.
was,
Yep.
I was just about to say,
Very nice. Yep.
is she Filipina, Chinese?
Korean, yeah, Korean and I guess whatever American side her mom is. So
Right. Well, Maddie's got so much because I'm now come to find out Irish, English, Italian. Well, I know about the Italian, German, and then she's Filipina and Portuguese, possibly Chinese, and possibly Hawaiian. So, and
Cool.
James T. Skywalker apparently is French.
I have 2%. 2% French came back in the day.
You're like a
So I was
low
like,
fat.
maybe that's why I took French. I don't
You're
know.
like a low fat French.
right.
Oh, man. Oh, and then
So I'm-
my Aunt Martha, who is Emily, the other one is Thor. That's when I always say, I have a cousin named Thor. Like, she was so cool for naming him Thor.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
And Hungry Boys got yep. Oh, you guys are the best. Yeah. So we got a great chat out there. Thank you. Yep.
Hungry said Maddie is so cute you can't take her to Ireland because the fairies will whisk her away. They always take the smartest and the cutest. See, now that I'm Irish, I can do that accent without worrying about that Courtney's offended because I'm one of you.
I'm never offended by anything like that. I'm not easily offended also because I grew up with 4 brothers. So like I've heard everything.
Heard it all.
That's why I can usually hang with the guys in the late night chats. And I'm just like, okay, you can't face me.
Bring it on.
Bring it. Exactly. I'll beat you in a battle of the wits. I've heard it all.
Yeah.
Well, in this country, there's historically been a great animosity between the Irish and the Italians because they both came here looking for the low wage jobs, which is why if you watch old TV shows, old movies, it's always like in Superman, you have Superman on your was it Mahoney or something? I think was the sergeant, and it was like all the cops were Irish. Like in Batman, it was Chief O'Hara, or yeah. And the reason being that the Italians and the Irish were looked down upon, and they were beaten and all kinds of terrible things happened. So they went into professions where they would be safe. So they became cops, clergy, and also, unfortunately, for some Italians, mafia.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but Madeline is a French name, Captain. Yes.
Yeah, I read that. My 2 half siblings are Italian and then the Irish Scottish. So.
And there's a Madeline doll too that was pretty famous, wasn't it? Wasn't there Madeline doll?
Yeah. And Madeline the book and then the movie. There's the later movie with like Danny DeVito and stuff. That was a great movie.
Don't forget the cookies.
Yeah, so this is the Madeline. I think that's
okay.
It
was the book.
So, yeah, the book. Yep.
So, I need to get that for her.
Does she have Eloise at the Plaza? You should get that too. That's like
what's Eloise?
Eloise at the Plaza. It's like a famous. It's an older kids book, but it's about a little girl who grows up in the Plaza. Well, she lives in the Plaza Hotel in New York City. It's a cool book though. Eloise, just check it out.
Who was the bear that got lost in the department store? Was that Corduroy or Paddington?
Corduroy.
Corduroy. Yeah. I gotta get my doll toys. Like
at 49 minutes. 49 minutes after, Hungry Boy says to Courtney, "I'm a direct descendant of one of the most notorious female Irish convicts in Australia."
Ooh.
Well, Australia is entirely populated by criminals, isn't it?
In Australia,
I thought it didn't exist. I don't know.
So I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me. Great Great quote there, Mark.
Yeah.
From,
So
if
if I
anybody,
can
didn't,
fi-
if
if I
anybody
could,
didn't pick that up, that's the Princess Bride that Mark was.
Yes.
yeah, I'm trying to
Boy.
find my video. I got too many videos here, so I'm trying to find my inconceivable. I got to put that towards the. Here we go.
Inconceivable. 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 Inconceivable.
You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
You played that one. I always remember when I said I'd never seen an episode of Star Trek. You instantly
it's like-
put that on.
It's like no.
Okay,
You guys were all like,
but Courtney, you have seen Princess Bride, right?
"Oh, of course,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes, yes." That's
There
like,
are a couple
classic.
of people in the Saturday Night Star Trek that haven't seen it. I forget
Yeah.
who they are, but there are a couple
Princess
of people.
Bride is like quintessential.
I think it's
just-
R.N. Feliciano has never seen
And
it.
Raquel has never seen Princess Bride either.
And she told me she was
I would
going
think she
to.
would have seen it.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
She needs to see that movie. She'd like it.
I think she would love it. Yeah, it's so well written. I mean, it's the genius in that movie is on the page.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
the acting and the casting is great, but it's the most quotable movie. If you just burst out and say, "No more rhymes now, I mean it," somebody's going to say, "Anybody want a peanut?" Or
Yeah.
inconceivable, or I would not say such things as "if I were you," or
Monty Python's pretty quotable too, though.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
all the Monty Python stuff. But yeah, Princess
Okay.
Bride is
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Iocane powder, colors, odorless gas, poison.
Yeah,
so, like, he
Iocane, yeah.
picks it. And Iocane, he's crits, and he picks it up and he smells it. And it's like,
Yeah.
and it's something you can't smell. It's just,
That's
Yeah.
so
really
many
funny
great-
that he said the Inigo Montoya. I'll go finish what you're
Yeah.
saying. I just don't want to forget that thought. Go on. I'm sorry.
no. I was just that random Princess Bride thought, but it's just so quote. Oh, I got to get those action figures too. I never bought the action figures, so got to get those. Yeah, for Princess Bride. Yeah, McFarlane came out with them. Yep.
The Inigo Montoya, or however he says it. When my brother got married, a couple people that couldn't come to the wedding because they got married in Hawaii, they did like a video thing, and it was a mutual friend of ours, but he had like a hood up and stuff, and that was his character on the video to congratulate them. And some people didn't get it. I was like, "That's awesome."
The Princess Bride is one of the most common theme weddings. I think it's right behind Star Wars, yeah, where people dress up. I mean, who wouldn't want to dress up as Wesley and Buttercup, and
Well, I have a good Star Wars wedding story. So when Empire Strikes Back was opening, the local news crew in Channel 2 New York, they're filming. They're like, people got married as Princess Leia and Luke before the Empire Strikes Back. So they got got married right in front of the theater, right as before the movie's starting.
That's me.
Going, and so they go into the movie theater. I never forget watching that. And they got married, and then they went in. I'm like, what happened when they were watching the movie? And they found out they were brother and sister. It's like no one ever did a follow up on that one, because like it was like it was opening night. It was like the first viewing. No one, there were no leaks back then. No one knew that Darth Vader was Luke's, father.
I wasn't even like I'm thinking that when you were telling me.
Wait a minute, did you say Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father?
Yes.
Oh, nobody knew.
Actually, David Prowse spilled the beans in a magazine article or in a newspaper article. In
a
small paper.
He went to his death saying that he did not.
I've seen the newspaper article though. I have it saved somewhere.
Mark Hamill was on some '80s talk show back in the day, and he said he gave the script to everybody. He didn't know there was a cone of silence, so he gave it to his friends, let him borrow it to read it. So I mean, there's lots of ways other than poor Dave. But
allegedly, the words were not in there. There was different words in there.
Yeah,
so.
it could be.
And on the script and then because don't forget, James Earl Jones dubbed the voiceover. So
right, yeah, that's true.
So Luke reacted to different things, but who knows? But it's all fun. But I never forget that watching that news at 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got marriage.
Yeah, that's like
marriage. So yeah. I have a couple of real quick stories. At my brother's wedding, the minister said he was going through his stuff, and I was getting teary eyed, so I wasn't even listening to him. But then he said, "Love, true love. And everybody looked at me, but I wasn't listening to him. He threw that in there for me, and I didn't even. And everybody told me afterwards at the time.
To blave.
To blave. Yeah. Pop culture Republic put marriage. Marriage is what
Yeah.
brings us together today. And the Hungry Boy did. um, there will be no survivor. Yeah. The other story that I have is a friend of mine, the guy I used to work with, had a Star Wars wedding, and they had a friend who was in a wheelchair, and so guess who came to the Star Wars? Sorry, it's not Star Wars. Yeah, it was Star Wars, but he came as a Star Trek character. Guess which one?
Pike.
Pike.
I don't know because I haven't watched yet.
Yeah.
I'll be able to know some of these things.
In the pilot, which was and a pilot that was not aired, but was later worked into Star Trek.
The Menagerie.
The Menagerie, yeah. There was a guy who was in a wheelchair and he couldn't move his face or anything else, and he was a farmer captain, a starship captain. I hope he communicate.
You can only communicate with like green for yes and red for no.
Yeah,
you would think in the future they'd have better
like Stephen Hawking kind of.
Hang on,
way to communicate.
Yep. This is for Phantom Outsider. Iocane powder. I bet my reputation on it.
And he smells it. Then he smells
it. Yeah, that's right. He smells it.
And what he's like? What's iocane? A colorless, odorless poison.
Yeah,
poison. Yeah.
And one of the more deadly poisons known to man. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Christopher. What's the actor's name? That's Christopher Sarandon, Susan Sarandon's brother. Yep.
Yeah, Christopher Sarandon. Yeah. Yep. I just saw him in.
I didn't know that was. It's interesting.
Yeah, from the original Fright Night.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's good in Fright Night. Yeah.
Apparently, so I got to meet all those guys at a con in Salt Lake City, and they were all so cool.
Nice.
They were all just super nice. Wallace Shawn, and I've told Mark this, so it's a good thing he's probably off getting a drink or something. Because
no, I just had something in my eye. So,
oh, okay.
I got some iocane powder in my eye.
It's not Maddie's finger, is it?
Yeah.
I've spent the last few years building a community guy. You know, we saw my friend that Claudia could never meet because she's a tall redhead nerd, and you know how Claudia is with redheads. But my friend Nikki and my friend Celeste and I, we watched at Salt Lake Comic Con. They had a showing of The Princess Bride, and every line, the whole theater was going, "My name is Inigo Montoya." Like, every line of the whole thing. But since everybody was doing it, it was okay. You know, there's one person doing it, it's annoying. But if everybody's doing it, and we were all just sitting there, you know, like, farm boy, polish my saddle. I want to see my face shining in it by morning. You know.
That reminds me of like Rocky Horror, though, like the audience participation type thing. I used to love Rocky Horror. Exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly the same kind of thing.
I'll never forget my aunt. It's the same aunt. It's Martha. She, I was on the phone. She's in the 70s now, but I was on the phone with her a couple of years back. And it was right before everything, you know, shut down or whatever. But she's like, I have to get off the phone right now. And I'm late. I have to go meet my friend. She was in Stamford at the time, which is right near New York City. She's like, I'm going into the city to see Rocky Horror. She was 69 years old. And I was like, how did I never know this about you? That's like my favorite. I was like, you're going to Rocky Horror. You're 69. I was like, you were so cool.
Yeah, I've never actually seen Rocky Horror live or in the movie. You know, I've watched it, but it said doesn't count. Unless you go to a late night show.
It used to be an event.
Oh, it was such an event. When I was in college, I used to go every weekend. Midnight showings. Mm-hmm.
Hungry Boy, if you ever get to meet Wallace Shawn, dude, he is such a nice guy. Fortunately, I had seen my dinner with Andre, but he was most fascinated by the fact that I spoke Chinese. And he was like, "That's fascinating. How did you learn that?" You know, and he sounds just like that. And he's the nicest. Thank you. He's the nicest guy. I mean, Chris Sarandon was very nice. I think I told you guys several times that boy, I'm just these late nights. I just can't think clearly. Carrie Elways hugged me. So those people were all like incredibly nice. So if you're a fan of this stuff, Dave had his spinning trying to think of all the lines. How about I don't think you could have sped things up. Well, if you're in such a hurry, you could find a rope or a branch or something.
What are our assets here?
Well, why didn't you list that?
Why don't you tell me you had a wheelbarrow?
Yeah.
And what was the cloak?
We only had
a cloak.
the,
What was the cloak? The death, the executioner's cloak. What'd they call it? What's the quote?
Holocaust cloak.
Holocaust quote.
We
Yep.
only had a Holocaust cloak. Oh, then I cannot help you. You mean like this?
Like this, yeah.
You know that who's the guy that played Inigo Montoya?
Mandy Patinkin.
Mandy Patinkin. He bruised a rib laughing at and they actually had to take when Billy Crystal, when they saw as Mad Max and he was ad-libbing all this stuff, Mandy Patinkin laughed so hard they like bruised a rib.
It hurts to do that.
and Carrie Elways is there on the table and he's supposed to be mostly dead. Mostly dead. And he said,
all dead we can't do anything with, but mostly dead.
Mostly dead. Yeah. There's only one thing you can do. What's that? Go to his pockets and look for change. But Carrie Elways was supposed to be dead, and he kept laughing. He kept laughing. So it was, sorry, I might have heard Maddie crying. He said you could see his chest rising and falling because he was laughing. So they had to take Carrie Elways off the set and bring in a mannequin. And essentially, it was just Billy Crystal. And he's like doing this part, with the bellows. And there's nobody else in the room except him and the cameraman. Because everybody else had to leave because they were just laughing so hard at all of this,
Hell, the great Clebburn times. How's it going?
Hey.
What's up, friends? Sorry I'm so late. What's up,
That's
buddy?
okay. We
I
won't
was
ask if
actually
you're
on
organized
time. The first time ever.
Well, I know. I wish I could have been here.
Sorry, Clive.
That's all right. Appreciate you coming by.
I dragged everybody down to my level of quoting.
What'd you do, buddy?
Got everybody quoting The Princess Bride.
Nice. Always a good thing.
Yep. Probably, like I said, it's probably one of the most quotable movies in history. There's a lot of greats, but
it's an interesting list of itself if you think about it, Steve. What are the most quotable films? I mean, I know it's debatable, but that would be in probably everyone's top 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah, there's some
saying like we'll never survive, and he's like, you're just saying that because nobody
No one
ever
ever
has.
Oh, that's a great quote by Dave here. You know how much I love watching you work, but it's my country's 5th anniversary to plan, my wedding to arrange, my wife to murder, and killed in a frame.
I'm swamped. Yeah. Well, try to get some rest, Dave. If you haven't got your health, you haven't got anything.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That was
great lines in there. Yeah.
Or how about the pit of despair? Don't even think. Don't even think about it, Dave. See, I'm the other way, Dave. It's not too much for me to remember. It's too much to choose from for me.
That's
Because hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Or I happen to have 6 fingers on your left hand. Do you always start conversations in this manner?
Yeah, that's a good love that.
Yeah, because I was at TMP today, and then there were only like 3 people in the theater. Then one of the guys was trying to quote the movie, but then he got a lot of the quotes wrong. So like at the end, he's like, it was all good natured fun, but at the end, he's like, he just says, go that way, right?
Out there, that's that away.
Go out there, that away. And the guy's like, second star to the left or whatever. Like,
straight on the way. You got the wrong movie. That's trick 6.
But there were only 3 people in the theater, so.
Really, I had 3 people with me alone. So I mean, man, you guys, I can't believe you didn't have a big crowd.
No one there, and then I was trying to drive there, and I missed the end. I go to the theater like once every 2 years. So like there's a parking garage, and they moved the entrance, or I couldn't find. Like there was no sign there.
Lord.
So there was traffic on the highway, so I missed the first 11 minutes. So I got to watch
the overture.
Yeah, I missed the overture. Which is did they? I was going to ask, did they have any?
There was a documentary about the restoration and stuff.
Oh, they did for how long?
Seemed like it was about, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, maybe not 10, 15 minutes, maybe about
not too long though,
10,
right?
Less than 10 minutes, like 5, something like that, or whatever. But it was about the effects. Maybe 5-ish. I'd have to ask Claude. I mean, because my friend Scott Young got there late as well, but he made it in time for the overture. But,
yeah, I missed the I got the right when the Klingons, it's the opening scene, I guess. But I missed
That's
Darn.
the only opening scene. You just missed the overture, so you still saw the whole movie.
Yeah, but I missed. I wanted to see that documentary. I wonder
Yeah.
if they have it
It'll
on
be
the
on
YouTube.
It'll be on the Blu-ray.
It's just so much.
It'll
So
be on the
mad.
4K.
Yeah. Was it an interesting documentary or?
It's pretty good. It was talking about the effects. Now, again, I was trying to imagine, was this something that was on the old director's cut that they just used, or is this actually about the new restoration? I think it's kind of about the new restoration.
I hope so, right?
But
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure. I think it is, though. So, yeah, something you have to see on the.
I hate being late. Yeah, because I was gonna. I left late too. It was my in-laws were here, not to blame them, but then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go tonight. You know, the late show, and they're like, oh, just go now. We see all the time, so I cut out, and then of course there was traffic. You know, when you miss, like, you need 10 more minutes, and then
on a Sunday you had traffic. Wow.
And going towards New York City, you know, 95 South, and then. And of course, then the concession stand was like totally mobbed. Yeah, I mean, there's no one there, but like, you know, one person. So I'm like, oh, I can't get popcorn or candy. And then and so then I started like get tired during the movie too. I'm like, I need my M&Ms. So I started to fall asleep a couple times. I was like, you know, when I shouldn't say that, but I love that movie so much. But I caught myself, you know.
At our age, dude, it don't matter how much you love the movie. You could fall asleep if you don't sit down and eat something.
I get a lot of guff for I fell asleep during all 3 of the Lord of the Rings movies.
I fell asleep that first Fellowship of the Ring movie because we went there at a 12 o'clock feature when it first opened.
I don't even know what time I saw them, but
I saw
all
it late.
3 of
yeah,
them, all 3 of them. I fell
midnight
asleep, and then I woke up, and there was still like an hour left. Definitely, the movies are not my thing.
Hey,
I
Kel-El.
try it again. But,
Hail Kel-El and anti-derivative Jill.
Kel-El, buddy. Jill.
Hey, Jill.
Oh, Jill missed the documentary also.
See? Oh, God. You know, this is how I feel.
So
Missing the
that's standing in line with
documentary.
him at the concession.
Oh no.
Wow.
we're going. Wah.
Dang, Jill.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll be on the Blu-ray. I'm sure.
Better not. It's like working in a damn computer center. Exactly, Rex Redstone. Some good quotes on that one too. I know engineers; they love to change things.
Yeah. That's the great thing about that movie.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yep, go ahead, Courtney. Yep.
There was some quote. I just had to look it up from The Princess Bride. That is, I remember them saying it was like interesting at the time because of the whole mask thing. But it's why do you wear a mask? Were you burned by acid or something like that? He says, oh no, it's just that they're terribly comfortable. I think every day everyone will be wearing them in the future. That's hilarious.
Yes,
that's like,
it is.
I was trying to look for that because I was like, I remember there was like a mask quote.
So Courtney, what you're saying is you'll put down your rock and I'll put down my sword. We'll try and kill each other like civilized people.
Yes.
I love it.
Or just watch it. All right, everyone go home. Let's go watch the movie.
love
A watch party like Dave was saying. I see.
Yeah,
A
we
watch
do.
party in the future.
Yeah, I should try.
What's up?
I was threatening that for TNG or TMP. So, but we never do. Well, eventually we'll do it. But been pretty busy. But yeah, that's another one to do too. And then we'll have to have our weekly private watch party watching. Strange New Worms. Right? That was fun to watch that with you. Yeah.
At least I got the rant about it with Dimcock tonight.
Yeah, and you didn't break my headphones, so that was good. Yep.
Oh, you heard
were
that?
there a lot of people
I was home, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were good. Yeah, no, it's fun to watch with friends. You know, watch shows and
I was
you
talking
can
about
pause
tonight.
it.
I wasn't too loud on Dimcock tonight.
You weren't
he
too
was.
bad. Okay, yeah, he was. Yeah. Do a lot of people in the chat? Did a lot of people like Strange New Worms?
I can't really watch the chat when I'm in the streaming yards because I only have one screen. Like for example, like right now, if I go over to watch your chat, it's all backed up because I have to have it. I have to be clicked onto that screen for the chat for YouTube to move at normal speed. So that's why I can never. For those who don't know, when I'm doing the show, I have my StreamYards up. I don't have an extra screen, so that's why I can never watch. Even with the pop-up chat, I can never really watch the chats on YouTube. I'd watch them through the StreamYard.
Yeah, or like if you had a tablet or something, but it's too confusing though. Yeah, it's tough to.
Too much to concentrate on.
Yeah, someday you'll get an engineer will improve your setup. You'll get a second screen.
Because I know people are like, "How come he doesn't talk to us or chat back to us and stuff while he's doing the show?" You just can't. The way I do a show, I can't do it. I can talk to you a little bit.
Stream too. I mean, yeah, he's got that. his stream is the comments are flying, at 100 miles an hour
Oh,
too.
it's just
So
too. That's impossible
you
for them.
can't. Yeah. So that's
I'm terrible. I try so hard with the chat, and my stuff is not like I'm not a content creator. I just go on as like I try to entertain, but the chat is hard to do. It's hard to keep talking and keep your panel in line if you're doing a live stream, especially late night. You get rambunctious people, and I'm always like, oh my gosh, I'm like, there's so many people.
Well, you can actually add a person like Clobbering Times has access to my channel.
I have to figure out how to do that. I want to get
That's in StreamYard. It's in StreamYard.
What level you're at? What tier you're at?
I have the I pay for the
basic
one up or whatever.
The paid version, right? Yeah. So you can get one. You can have one person add. Add. So I added Clobbering Time, so he could you can have someone help with the chat or star the chat or do certain things. Yep. So in Saturday Night Star Trek, you have Raquel helping you, which is great. So you got two people, so that makes it a lot.
I wish I could. When she's
easier.
not here, I wish I could switch it to you, but there's no way. It doesn't let you do that I know of.
You have to pick one.
You got to pick. There can only be one. Yep. Or you can pay for it, but
it's only be one extra.
It's expensive though too. I looked at if it was like $2 a month to add another person. But it's like $9. You have to go to like another tier to have two people. It's like $9 a month.
That's ridiculous.
It's way too much money. Like it's not. If it was a couple of shekels here and there, it wouldn't be that bad.
You should be able to switch back and forth. That's just to be able to show that like to have the.
Well, what you can do is you can actually share your. If you sent like my son needed to use StreamYard, so you send him the link that comes in on the email. Like he tries to log in, and you can email him the code. So, but then that person has access to everything. It's like you're logged in. So.
Oh, well, that would be okay.
Weird.
I would just want two people, because it's not always like I always have at least one of these two people on, and they could be major help.
You could have your lady friend. What's her name?
Amy. Amy was on Friday. Were you?
Yes.
I can't remember. Because I was an hour late. I was an hour late to start streaming because I fell asleep.
I'm just being a guy. She's lovely, so I just
Amy is amazing.
Beautiful,
she had to leave because her kid was having a little issue. But she was just about to fall asleep too because I was an hour late. She was ready to stream with me. I couldn't believe I did that. Well, I could, but usually I'm just late. I'm not asleep,
Not asleep, yeah.
It's a late show. It's a late show you do there, so yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird. You get your little group of people though. There is
people
audience
up, right?
for that.
Or people different time zones, yeah. So
I get a lot of Australians and stuff like that are where it's daytime hours for them.
Yeah, no, that time zone. That like time zone sort of after we go off on Saturday nights. There's not much going on, and I noticed the past couple of weeks, except for maybe a few weeks back, Culture Casino was doing the show in that time slot all of a sudden.
He started,
but he didn't do the past couple because he's busy.
Yeah, it's usually I usually was doing the weekends because like Kai MFS does the same time slot like during the week, and it just worked out well because we have kind of the same crowd, and then we would always go after Creepy Little Book because he was always he's been doing it for 8 years at the same time. But a lot there's not many options. And Jedi Bill, you always get Jedi Bill.
Jedi Bill's late night and Sunday.
Karaoke and his stuff. Yeah, he's always.
He just hit 1K too, right? He just hit 1K.
He did.
Yeah, that's
I was
awesome.
so happy for him.
Yeah,
he was so excited.
Nice,
He's like he's such a like good happy person. I don't know. He's a good person. He was so excited. It made me happy. He deserved it.
Indeed.
Yep.
Captain
James.
So
no, go ahead. Yeah, you canceled the Wonder Twins movie. Yeah, Wonder Twins.
So that was a real that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Boy,
canceled.
What a rip off the guy got, because it was like should be like, form or shape of a T-Rex, and then he can only be like form of ice cubes. Somebody's drink is getting warm.
Puddle of water. Yeah.
Puddle. Yeah.
On the other hand, never mind.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those powers he could use. Never mind.
But the best version of the Wonder Twins was actually on G4. If you watch Olivia Munn and Kevin Pereira too. Google that. I think I showed it one night, and they're dressed up and they're out of work, and then Olivia, and then Kevin Pereira is like, we have to, like, she's like a janitor. He turns into water and she mops him up. Like, and then Gleek has died, and just Google, G4,
She could turn
wonderful.
into a mastodon,
Yeah,
an elephant, a whale, anything she wanted to. Water
Yeah.
and ice, and I assume steam. For
Yeah.
Batman wants to take a sauna. No problem, I'm on it.
yeah.
Oh,
Who thought of that power? Yeah.
I think the best version of the Wonder Twins actually was on Space Ghost, because I still say that's where they got that idea from. Jan and Jace.
Jan and Jace. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Jan and Jace and
Jan and Jace.
Blip.
Yeah.
Because didn't the Wonder Twins have a monkey too?
Yeah, Gleek. It was
Gleek,
a total
Gleek,
ripoff.
Yeah, it was a total ripoff. Yeah.
Well, Santa Barbara ripping itself off. Yeah.
Gleek
Oh,
was much better than yeah.
I guess they were. Wait a minute, was Super Friends was Hanna-Barbera?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're allowed to rip yourself off. Yep.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. There's a lesson in here somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me just show where you can get tickets to this movie again. So since we're talking about it, 2 more nights. So I just did an enabling video. So I think Dave that said he's going. I enabled him to go, or was it Captain Skywalker? I can't remember now. Of course, that was a long time ago on the stream, but so you can just go to fandom. Oops, let me do this here. There we go. We can be on the side there. Yep. So go to fandom events, and then just put in your zip code there, and then we got Monday night, and you've missed the 9:00 show if you're in California, right? So you got Monday night and you got Wednesday night. So you can go there, and then here we can watch this. Let me share this trailer because I played it before. Let me share my screen again. It's a
Can you
quick
do that?
one. Yeah, I played it and I didn't get dinged before, so I uploaded the video before. So it was
Really
fandom
quickly,
events trailer.
Just speaking of Culture Casino's late night, his late night is on. It's
Oh, he's
fun.
on tonight. He's on
Yeah.
now.
Oh, I thought he was doing Saturday nights. Okay, you're right.
He's on now. Yep. I saw he was on now. Yep.
Weird. He's a good dude. I like Culture.
Great
He's a
guy.
nice
Yep.
He's fun.
Thrust us ahead.
Very, very nice fellow.
Take us out.
I am convinced we are inside a living machine.
Spock, you haven't changed a bit. You're just as warm and sociable.
Warm and sociable as ever.
Shall I go to battle station, sir?
I hope we got this one off to a good start. I hope so too.
Well, I haven't delivered a baby in a while, right? What's the line there? I'm butchering it, but that's the end of the movie. Yep.
It's been a long time since I have delivered the baby. I hope we get this one off to a good start.
Yeah.
I love
So
the line when he says, Spock, you haven't changed a bit. Still as warm and sociable as ever. Nor have you, Doctor, as your continued predilection for irrelevancy demonstrates. Automatically right there, they said we're back to the Spock McCoy.
Yeah,
fencing,
it was
which I love.
perfect. Yeah, you were back to those characters you know and love. So the writers really captured that vibe again.
You know what's weird about that? After watching some modern crap now, like having to sit through strange nude worms and other this trash, you go to watch a movie that just feels like it's written, with Starfleet people acting like adults.
I was thinking the exact same thing tonight.
Yeah, you're watching a movie where there isn't a stupid quip every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say that when the Decker, we call him Decker unit, but Decker finds out that Admiral Kirk is now captain of the Enterprise, and he has that line like basically saying that this is what you've always wanted. He kind of gives it back to Kirk, and Kirk says, "Commander, report to the bridge immediately." It's basically like I'm not going to listen to this crap, and there's not oh, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, and I hope that you can handle this
cry
someday.
And hug each other in hallways.
Yeah, you're the bestest ever.
Oh,
and Kirk does give Decker a few. He says I stand corrected at one point, but very curt.
He's fair, but he's not like a crybaby. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was watching it tonight again for the 20th plus time, I'm like, the dialogue there. There's and Kirk and Spock and McCoy have those great moments, and the movie really pivots too when Spock, comes back from the probe and he says Jim, and the way the tenor and tone of his voice changes, and you hear the Jim, Jim, and he's back to being the Spock that you know and love again versus the emotionless android.
After watching, you watch Real Trek, and then because yes, we are hating watching the other garbage, right? It's funny how you watch that stuff, and look, we're kids. We love we're still kids. We always will be in the sense we love superheroes. We love comic books. We joke around, but still, when you watch Star Trek, you watch real Star Trek. You watch, yes, they have sense of humor, but they act like adults in Starfleet, and you go, wow, I never thought I would really notice it so much. Now, when you watch not just the modern iterations of Star Trek, almost the type of writing they have and everything, like in the crappy new Marvel TV shows or the crappy Marvel movies, the whole style of writing, not just in new fake
modern
Trek, is so the modern stuff is so terrible that you watch this movie, it's like, wow, this is so refreshing, hearing the way they talk and the way they interact.
It's not without emotion or some of those funny lines too, but the timing is right. Excuse me, and it's not overdone, and the whole conflict between Decker and Kirk, and Decker leaves the room, and then Bones kind of gives it to Kirk a little bit, but it was not in front of anyone else too. That's a private thing between friends that you've known each other. For us, we've seen the 79 episodes.
Here's the thing about that, man. Let's just take Strange New Worlds for a second, or P. Hard. These idiots don't know how to write multiple characters. So the entire cast, I don't care if there's 9 people or 8 people or 5 people, they're all written exactly like the same character, and their lines can be interchangeable. Yeah. Whereas in this one, Kirk acts like Kirk. He doesn't make stupid jokes. McCoy does make jokes at Spock. He makes digs at Spock. He even says, Mr. Spock, this child is about to wipe out every living thing on Earth. What do you suggest we do? Spank it? Totally unnecessary. That shouldn't be there, but it's McCoy, so it fits because it's the kind of thing McCoy says.
Would say that, yeah. But he's not insulting Spock directly.
But you never hear a wisecrack out of Spock or out of Kirk or anyone else. It comes from the place it's supposed to. So you have actually multiple characters in this movie that act multiple ways because these writers know how to write. In these new horrible shows, everybody is written the exact same way. That's why you have a horrible scene where Pike Boy in Strange New World says, I love my job. Never. Oh my God, he doesn't talk that way. The Pike in the real Pike in the old show would never say something so stupid.
Yeah,
Spock
I love it. I love it when a plan comes together. Right, that was Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal on the 18, but it was a joke. It was a running joke, but that doesn't belong with the Pike, it doesn't fit with the other, the other characters. It's with Pike saying it, and then. And that'd be like I said before. That'd be like in a comic book, like that'd be an internal dialogue. Maybe like you would say, thought balloon, like, "Oh, I love my job," but totally was out of place during that scene.
Courtney needs to.
Thank you for paying attention. I'm just gonna let you guys, talk a little.
No. I watched the private chat. It's Mark never watched it. I have to watch it for him.
Yeah, you got to watch it for me. Yeah.
I just always notice the little bubbles that pop up. It get the little notification thing. Anyway, I'll say bye to everybody. I apologize for the disappearance tonight for a little bit, but at least the wind has calmed down. We're gonna
good.
So
yeah,
I'm
appreciate
still in Colorado,
you being here.
Indefinitely. I'm not sure for how long just yet. I mean, I still live back there, back east, but I don't know what's going on.
Well, I'm glad you're still been able to stream, and thanks to the interwebs, we can still communicate. Doesn't matter where you are, right?
I can't believe it. You would think on the East Coast, but I'm like really in the middle of nowhere where I'm living back there. So, but yeah, anyway, I've told people before, but it's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs is my channel, and I do Insomniac late night, usually on the weekend streams, and I have a couple good ideas, funny ideas coming up, a couple games and stuff. So, gotta get those in motion. But everyone have a great night.
Thank you, Courtney. Sub to Courtney, everyone. Take care. Yep.
And
sorry,
I love Maddie too. Again, I always love hearing about Maddie and all that. Thanks for the good talk. Okay, bye everyone.
Thank you, Courtney.
Bye, Courtney.
Have a great week. Yep.
Thanks.
It's great having Courtney.
I chased her away by talking Star Trek. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah,
Sorry, Clark.
and Hungry Boy, I think, picked up what I was saying too. Modern actors have that thespian vocal training; they're just quippy TV voices. Then a weekend, I mean, I heard that tonight in the movie theater when he said Jim, like his voice seemed to change. Like actually, his whole character changed after that scene to me.
Jim.
But
Yeah, Spock.
Jim, just such a great actor. It's just so well done. But yeah, just there's it's like you can try to, you're doing a great job of explaining it and what how we feel, but it's just it's that modern sensibility. I guess everyone's got to have something wrong with them or had a problem or a tragedy. When Kirk, but Kirk, like it's so Kirk on the bridge when they're talking, they say, oh, he's a child, right? So Spock has a line, he's a child, and then Kirk basically comes up with says, we know why the creator is not responding.
Well, yeah, he set Kirk off on that.
Yeah, it's perfect writing. And he says, and then Kirk unit, you must tell us. And Kirk's just like, no, clear the bridge, everyone leave. And that's that's a perfect Kirk bluff there.
See, you don't appreciate good writing till you've seen a lot of bad of it, like we have in a lot of shows. You can say what you want to make a picture where you think it is derivative of an old episode. It has its flaws with pacing, although the director's cut's better. We're so thankful to see this kind of writing, multi-characters. First of all, I like Kirk's arc in this thing where he's been at Starfleet for 2.5 years. He is obsessive about the Enterprise. It always has been, so much so that he'll even stoop to things that would be beneath him because he's still a flawed human being and he makes mistakes. That's how you write flawed characters. You don't have to write them with the stupid, tragic backstory like Strange New Worlds did to Uhura, killing her, have her parents die in a freak, and her brother die in a freak helicopter accident. That's so stupid. Every character has a tragic backstory. Like, what's her name's parents eaten by Gorn? It's so goddamn stupid. Well, here you've got Kirk. Again, he has this flaw. Spock is coming in. They both come in with whatever you like the story of this film or not. Their arcs are perfect. They're just getting back into the game. And again, these are characters written like adults, as opposed to Strange New Worms and P. Hard, where the characters are written like children. By children, written by toddlers, because the people who write these shows are often CW writing. They're not science fiction writers. They can't write characters. And to watch this film, is it as good as Wrath of Khan? Of course not. There's a lot of better Star Trek, but the writing is still done by people who know how to write characters, understand characterization, and actors who understand characterization. And it's so far above the crap we're getting now that's unfortunately called Star Trek. Sorry about that. It's just... Right.
No, I just no, I agree, and I keep saying I keep enjoying this movie more and more the more that I see it, and maybe more removed. As much as I did my review, quick enabling tonight. I'm wearing my Wrath of Khan shirt,
nice.
But I got the that's coming up next. But it's just such a well done thing. So yeah, so Paramount Plus, were maybe some of us out there aren't too happy with the new Star Trek, but they did a great thing by having this director's edition, and gotta give them credit when they do something good. So this has been really great, and I've been watching it over and over over and over. So
but you're right. So much. I mean, it's like the scene where he tells when McCoy's ragging on Spock, and he says, "Bones, we need him," and he looks at Kirk, looks at him, I need him. And then later, the part you talked about where they don't know what to do. They're out of ideas. And again, because Kirk, Spock, and McCoy work so well together, they're the triumvirate. Spock simply says, Captain V'ger is a child. I suggest you treat us as such. Boom.
Yeah.
There's where he got the idea.
Off the races. Yeah.
Right out of Spock.
There comes the bluff, right? Yep.
Great writing.
Yeah. And then everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe, they're going to do this. He's going to bluff V'ger.
Yep.
And Decker suggests, putting the shields up and doing all these things, and Kirk's like, no, don't put the shields up. That could be
Decker would have got him killed right there, and the Earth would have been dead.
Yep. So and then Spock figures out the transmission too. So, but yeah, it's Decker would have been able to.
Spock would have just solved it all by herself, and everybody else would have been telling her how awesome she is.
Yeah. So that's what this is more like a military organization, which it should be. It's not. I guess it's not. Always portrayed as super strict. Of course, I've never been in the military, so I couldn't tell you how a bridge on a real ship runs. But I'm sure it's not very casual where people are talking about, talking about their feelings, when the captain's giving an order. So it's just such a contrast when you see see this movie again. And I know people talk about the pacing, but I got to watch the original version again
True,
to
Jill.
compare it to the director's cut.
Yeah, because I've watched that original so many times. When I watch this one, it still makes me kind of. My friend, I was sitting with my friends next to my friend Scott Young tonight watching it, and we both kind of, they left something out. Oh, there's a couple things they changed, and we've watched those originals so many times. Yeah.
But everyone's saying it's for the better. But it's been so many years since I've watched. It's been so many years since I watched the original version. I mean, I own it on DVD.
Theatrical, yeah.
Theatrical, but the lengths aren't so much longer. I think it's just tweaks here and there.
Don't forget the ABC version.
Yeah, the ABC version.
Yeah, you can see Kirk coming out in that Thruster suit, and you can look up and you see it. You can see all the wooden rafters and shit. The incomplete build of the Enterprise, and they put that back in the ABC version.
Yeah, that was a big deal when that was on TV back in the day. It's like now on TV, Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and that was. I remember driving from a friend's house back home. The movie was so long. We're like, okay, leave during the commercial. We won't miss much. Yeah, so
true, Jill. True.
But it was beautiful to see that on the big screen. Although my movie theater wasn't. The screen wasn't as big, or maybe I should have sat closer. I don't know if it was the projector. Either. Yours was it kind of a little bit smaller?
They put it on tiny screens, the tiniest screens, because they know it's not a first run movie.
Yeah,
they're projecting it from a laptop.
That's what it was. That's what. Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, because it didn't fill the whole. Where I was, the screen seemed a little bit smaller. Mm-hmm. Like the curtain wasn't opened all the way. It was. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was still pretty.
It looked great.
Pretty huge.
Our sound sucked. I don't know about yours.
Our sound was really good.
This wasn't equipped for the Atmos sound thing.
But could you hear all the like the crew voices on the bridge?
Yeah.
And the background, they added all those background voices, like someone's like, "Deck 5, set the temperature to 600."
We did.
You could hear. Okay, good. Yeah.
Some of it.
So that adds a lot of atmosphere to it. Yeah. But it was.
And in September, we get to see the Wrath of Khan on this big screen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it first came out, didn't insult their intellects. Yeah, because you build with the movie, and I think too, seeing it in the movie theater, you don't have any distractions either. So you don't have your, of course, you could always go on your cell phone and in the movie theater, even though you're not supposed to. But it's a nice thing. You're just in that dark movie theater. I was there without popcorn tonight. I didn't want to miss any more of the movie, and. You're concentrating on the movie, so it really flows. It flows pretty well, and the book I would say too is really worth reading. It's been
it is
got 40 years since I read the book, but I always remember reading about the transporter accident. It was just so much more horrific in the book, or it scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Wasn't the woman in the transport that died with Sonic? Wasn't she Kirk's girlfriend?
It's been so long. I can't remember. I gotta go. I gotta pull out. Copy out and reread it. Of course, the print has probably shrunk since I.
Remember, Roddenberry wrote the book.
Yeah. But the book, it's been so long since I read it.
I thought Stan Lee wrote the book.
Yeah,
Stan Lee wrote the book.
That's what I meant to say.
Stan Lee created Gene Roddenberry.
That's true.
I remember when I said, I think I'll create Gene so one day he can create Star Trek. Excelsior.
I remember thinking there aren't any good sci-fi TV shows, so I'll create them. Because he always starts off with, I remember thinking.
I'll create the creator of a TV show.
I remember looking around and thinking,
And he'll create a TV show called Star Trek, and I'll let him take the credit for it. Because the kind of guy I am. Excelsior. Hey, he didn't even name the ship Excelsior. He named it Enterprise. See? And I didn't mind.
Yeah. Captain, I had no popcorn because I was late into the movie. There was traffic, and I left a little late, and it was a movie theater. Was like 45 minutes away too. So
I'd missed another 5 minutes to get the popcorn.
Yeah, it's
a Pavlovian thing with me.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and Jill missed the intro too. So I was.
Makes you feel any better? I had popcorn. If that makes you feel any better.
Yeah, probably that does make me feel better. Yeah, and I just had kind of just eaten lunch. I'm like, do I need the popcorn? And then I looked at the line. I was like, they have 40 different checkouts. Only one was open. So like, I can't miss any more. So I had no popcorn. I had no M&Ms. I had had nothing. I was on a diet. I had my bottle of water that I smuggled. I smuggled in a bottle of water. I should have grabbed something, but yeah, there was no replicate. They needed replicators. Can you imagine if you had replicators in your movie theater? How cool that would be.
I can imagine.
I need more
that.
popcorn. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. But
Three
so, how many
pills.
people were in your theater tonight, Clobbering Times?
Myself, Claude, and Scott, and then I saw a few people from the local Star Trek fan club whom I'm familiar with, who I'm acquainted with, and overall, I must maybe 15 or 20 people. I don't know, something like that.
About 20?
Not a
Okay,
lot.
no, not
It was
bad.
a very small theater, but they didn't put it in the big ones. Which
this theater was a pretty big theater, but there were only like 3 people in the theater.
They put it in a small ass one for ours.
Yeah, we had a big. It was a good thing. We had the reclining seats and everything, so it was good. But I should have sat closer, maybe.
I noticed on one of the screens they said Downton Abbey. Like, there's a movie Downton Abbey. Why?
My wife went to see it, and she didn't invite me. She went with her girlfriends to see it last Friday night.
You didn't say that with enough enthusiasm. You said she didn't invite me. Thank God. You see Star Trek. Let her go see that.
Well, I asked my boys to him, like,
they're saying, why?
Why? Yeah.
They're saying, well, Star Trek, why? Nobody understands everybody else's stuff. I mean, it's
yeah. I was gonna go. I'm like, my kids are home. I'm like, anyone want to go see Star Trek with me now? Like, no. So I don't know. I hope that doesn't disqualify me as a good
my
parent.
Son he ended up having to go help his mom do something in New Orleans, and when we got back, when I got home, he said he tried to get back to meet me at the theater. He was going to meet me over there, but my mom and dad called him and asked me to do something for him. But he was willing, even though he didn't like this as much. He's a freak for Wrath of Khan.
He would have gone.
He was going to do it because he wanted to. Even though he was only seen this movie a long time ago, and he didn't really care for it much, but he loves the freak for Wrath of Khan. He has all the proper respect for real Star Trek. And Wrath of Khan's one of his favorite movies. So.
Yeah, my kids have watched the movies, but yeah.
I hope they still do the Wrath of Khan because they lost money on this. Apparently, nationwide. Well,
it didn't cost them much.
No, it cost them. It cost them $1,000 to run the AC and those things for the length of a movie.
Fathom will do it. In September.
I hope they do. You forget, Claudia, I worked at a movie. I worked at the Segan Village 10, and it's staggering what it costs to run a movie.
Oh, I believe you, especially in Louisiana.
Yeah, the AC, the volume of the AC alone, and they have to rent landfills because of all the garbage they produce. That's why everything's so expensive.
Well,
so anyway,
we had this theater it's AMC over by the mall. I mean, they never use their damn air conditioning, so fucking there's burning up.
Well, gentlemen, I'm getting up at 5 in the morning, so I'm going to say goodnight as well.
I think it's but I think it's a good time to cut out. I know Clobberton's basically just got here, but I got to get a lot of work done too. So why don't we? It's a good point to thank everyone, and tell everyone go see this so Fathom doesn't lose too much money, and hopefully that some of the big cities, hopefully they got some good turnout there. And then I've got my new video out on this. Let's see, so go check that out. I give a quick review of the movie, but that would be good. And Dave, I don't know if I answered this comment, but yeah, I tape firecrackers to one and launch it out the roof. Yeah, that would kill me. When I was opening up, I opened up this ship on the Clobbering Times show on the Clubhouse. It was in the box, the battle damage. It's really Star Trek 3, but they call it Wrath of Khan. It's really Star Trek 3, and people in the crowd were. Some people in the chat were not too happy when I opened a mint in the box.
I loved every second of it.
But it's battle damaged anyway, right? It's all damaged. Yeah. But I had to change the batteries too, because the after 20 years or how old this sucker is. And the one quick thing I wanted to show too was there's a coin actually in this box. So let me grab that.
Captain James T. Skywalker is out of here as well.
All right, Captain.
Take care, Captain.
Captain, I want to thank you as well as everybody else who made all those wonderful comments about Maddie tonight. You guys are the best. I love this community. You guys are wonderful. So
Great
thank
fellas. Great crowd.
Yep,
Great to see
great
you
crowd.
all.
Yep,
People said
Appreciate
people were very sweet tonight.
really
towards
nice.
my
Yep.
daughter, so,
Very nice.
Yeah, so there's this coin in the box that I'm not going to open that, I guess. So that'll make people feel better. I'll leave the coin in there, but it says
Yeah, that
United,
matters.
where no man has gone before. Actually, I can get that ship pretty much
That's
back in
sexist.
here. Yeah, that's it. I was thinking of wondering if they changed it. So here's the here's the box. Take care, Pop Culture. Thank you
Hi, Pop
for being here. Yep.
Hungry
So-
boy, be good, buddy.
Wrath of I guess Wrath of Khan is more popular, so they sold as a Wrath of Khan ship, but it's really it ain't Wrath of Khan.
Fair
It's,
cop.
yeah. So, but let's let me say thank you to, of course, Courtney for hanging out with us, and let me zoom back into the chat here. So we had Polly's Minion was the first person. Remember when people used to post first? That no one does that anymore, right?
Yeah,
First in the chat. Not too often anymore, but so thank you to we got a lot of chats tonight, so we're active. It takes a long time to scroll back. I don't know how you do that on Saturday Night Star Trek. Must take forever.
Takes a while there.
Take a while, yeah.
Takes a while, Bob.
Mr. Angel was here. J-Man was here.
J-Man.
Stream Elements Bot was here. Dark Shadow Logan was here. He once owned a comic book store, is the rumor.
He did.
Rough Girl,
wow.
yep. Cap Stargate, great Phantom Outsider. And we got his brother's YouTube channel to post that. So he's got Transformer reviews. Is really cool. Yep. Comic Relief Crusader. Let's see who else was here. Finatra was a friend of Courtney. Stopped by. Zax. Cool. Zax was here. Let's see who else do we have here. I said Gap Stargate. Let's see. Max Redstone was here.
Max Redstone, buddy.
Yeah. I said Pop Culture Republic.
Dave, Enter the River of Jill.
Oh, Dave, Enter the River of Jill. Yep.
Yeah, Jill.
Max Redstone.
Max Redstone. Yep.
Did you say Hungry?
Cat, yeah, Hungry Boy. Yep. Captain James T. Skywalker, and then did Captain Cockney Spock stop by tonight or no?
I don't remember seeing him.
I don't think I saw him yet. Kal-El was here. Thank you.
Kal-El, buddy.
Yep.
Another Steve M.
Another Steve M.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
You gotta have two. It's the law.
That's true.
It's the law, right? Yep. Gold Ducat in 2024. Make Cardassian great again. Yep. So yep. So we really always appreciate Maddie's daddy and Great Clobber's times for hanging out with us and hanging out with me during the show, and always just really look forward to Sunday nights. And
you're great. I'm great.
We're all great. Go see the movie.
You'd make a wonderful good Pirate Roberts.
I'm not going to kill you today, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Good night, Steve. Sleep well. I'll almost like to chill you in the morning.
Clobby, until then, sleep well and dream of large women.
Medium size anyway.
Yeah. Jill says he was, but Jill, wait. Maybe Captain Cockney Spock was time traveling.
He's doing like a 5 million time. Oh, he is time traveling. Yes,
maybe time traveled over here. Could have been.
Well, it's not right.
Yeah, don't tell him I said that. He's gonna.
Wow, he's got a Culture Casino's got a big crowd there tonight. Jesus.
Yeah, Culture's rocking. Yep.
Yeah.
Fun guy. Yep. So Clapper Times, you have your Monday night Mark C.
Mark
show.
C.
Do you have a title?
I don't know if I have a topic yet. I might look at some lists. Kal-El suggested something to me. I need to get Kal-El to come hang out with one of these nights, so we could get him on one of these days. If he, I don't know. You don't want to pressure him. Some people don't like to go on streams, but
Yep.
Some people don't. Clobby, I am working on the animation thing. I'm gathering reference for the 12 points of animation. I'm doing it only from superhero related.
Well, we could do it on Wednesday night, so it could be any kind of animation you want. If we do it on Wednesday night, yeah.
All right, cool.
That's a wild card, brother. So
Yeah, you don't want to
Looking
violate
forward
the show rules. Yep.
Well, I let's see. It's Mark C. I could do only superheroes that John Byrne has written.
yeah, John Byrne wrote something. Wow, I didn't know that.
And then Tuesday night you have your Loki. You're doing Green.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm going to be on with
yeah.
Loki for our DC animation review on his channel, 8 p.m. Central. We're reviewing Green Lantern First Flight.
And then everyone watch that. That's a great movie. I got to try to watch that again.
That's
And
pretty
then
good.
got Toxic Tuesday with Nick, and I think we're doing Rocky
what's that doing?
3. I think it's Rocky.
Oh, damn,
I think
nice.
It's Rocky
Love
3.
it.
Well, after you're done with Loki,
Yeah.
you can hopefully pop on over. Yep.
Prediction.
Pain.
Yeah, it'll be crowded
That's
Tuesday
a
night.
good
Man.
one. It is a good. Every night's getting crowded. Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
So, but you just gotta, like I know Doomcock's on. We've got a lot of Doomcock fans here, but it's a good night for me. So, maybe people catch part of it on the rewind. But it's just a fun hangout. So yeah, people always say like when should I avoid stream? It's just stream when you can.
You're
And
just gonna have to pick a time and do it. I mean,
you just got to do it.
you're
Yeah.
stepping on somebody. So now, I never like on purpose stepped on somebody's toes, like scheduled something where I knew it was a friend doing it. In fact, I moved my back when Paulie just changed his to a night. I was always doing it just because he's Paulie. I moved my show back on my Wednesday night or
you went to 10. You went to
o'clock.
10 p.m. right? Yeah, or 9 p.m. your time.
Yeah. Because it was Paulie. He didn't ask me to do that, but I just thought, let me do it because
Yep.
help him out. But yeah.
So all right, guys. So we'll again appreciate everyone being here, and let me put the overlay on. We'll hide our handsome faces here, and let's play this outro. And everyone have a fantastic week. Go see Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Go see it Monday and Wednesday night if you can. And thanks to everyone for watching, and really appreciate it. Take care, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.